to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time. So prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push to heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Rise. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions brave, the one falls, steadily the end. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead beneath the dirt. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, or do you know yet? Win or die. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you.
Two, one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tilt Champions League. My name is Sir Aaron, and I am joined by my co-caster, Spirit of Fate.
How you do, everyone?
We are here for week 6 of the TCL. This is the final week of the regular season, and this is day 1 with WRDS the Word taking on Control Wards. Now, it is important to note that this match is very, very important for Team Control Wards because if they lose, they are officially out of playoff contention. They need to get a win today to have a chance to qualify, but unfortunately their fate is not in their hands, as not only do they need a win tonight, but they need Team Coinflip to lose their match next Monday. So this match is obviously important for that singular reason, but it is not over for them just yet. But we will be able to see how this match goes out, as if you did catch this a few weeks prior, Control Wards did lose to WRDS the Word in a Game 3. It was a banger of a series, and so we are definitely hoping for a similar kind of game today.
No, without a doubt. And it's an interesting parallel between the two teams. For Control Wards, you obviously have the incredibly strong mid presence from Control himself. Very, very reliable bot lane with AI Box and Lemon. AI Box, I think at this point, actually leading the league in kills, unless the stats were a little bit off when I last checked. Meanwhile, their top lane Chuck has been sort of their, I'll say, their role player in many of their games, where his job has been primarily to hold the line, try to stay firm, and make sure that he's there to help the mid and bot carries. Whereas on WRDS the Word, it's very much the opposite. They often carry through blood, and Verd, well, with some support from TJ in the jungle, he does a lot of carrying himself. And then their bot lane largely is playing the supportive roles to TJ, Blood, and Verd. That's obviously been scrambling because every time I seem to say this, everyone who I say is a role player shows up and tries to prove me wrong. So I'm hoping to see that again tonight with Chuck, Dev, and Reform Bully all sort of rising above and making big splashy performances.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the storyline for both these teams, right? I think primarily Team versus the World has been playing to that top side of the map with TJ supporting Blood a lot, since he does have a lot of carry potential. He's got one of the first pentas in the league, and obviously if he's playing very, very well, there's a good chance that his team is going to win as a result. But on the other hand, if we see the bot lane of control wards popping off, then they normally can win through that lane. And like we said, I mentioned, or someone mentioned actually in the TCL chat a few weeks ago that Chuck has a lot of ability to be either the winning factor or the losing factor. Not maybe just because he will be the one to carry, but if he's not in team, that's normally good for his team. So it will be fun to see if he decides to slow down this game, or if he wants to try to bring it to blood, and maybe that might get to the detriment of him.
Yeah, during our last matchup, Chuck versus Blood felt, at least in game one, like an enormous mismatch. Blood getting up on Chuck almost 9,000 gold. It was an astonishing margin. That said, game two, Chuck was able to stabilize, and you ended up with a lot more of a even performance from him. So which Chuck shows up is going to be an incredibly important factor in deciding how successful Control Wards is likely to be.
Yeah, we are getting into the draft right now. So we are getting the final ban of round one. We've got the LeBlanc, the Fiddlesticks, and the Victor taken away from the side of Control Wards. And then we have the Udyr, the Zillion, and we will have one more ban coming through, which will be the Morgana.
Morgana, interesting.
Away from Verges the Word. So it looks like we got a little bit of a mid support jungle, as well as, actually similar, we got mid jungle and mid for both of these teams. But Prio will be Kai'Sa here. Obviously, that is the S tier jungler right now, one of the best, if not the best.
80 carry.
Debatably. Yeah, 80 carry. Oh, I said jungler. Yeah, my bad. Top tier 80 carry. So they will be first picking that. And so the question is, what does...
So the interesting thing I noticed here is I understand the Udyr and the Zillion ban, obviously Verd and TJ Sobeast are very strong on it. Morgana's a little bit more of a surprise because I thought Reform Bully had been sort of favoring Thresh prior to this, but we'll see what they have in mind for that.
Yeah, I think that Morgana ban could be of a similar sentiment that I think a lot of people know of. Just that champion can just mitigate a lot of CC with the Black Shield. So just taking that away, just maybe whatever kind of comp that might be going for might be CC heavy or have abilities that can be canceled easily by the Morgana. So just banning that away would just make sure that there's no funny business. So I don't hate the ban, but obviously we will have to see what the comps are when they come through. But we will have the Lulu and the Sivir come through for Team Control. Now, we don't know where that Lulu is going because Chuck has actually been playing a lot of supports in the top lane. So that could just be a flex pick. That could be going either support or top. It could go mid too, but most likely won't be. But it will be.
I'd be very, very surprised to see Control take Lulu mid. It's just not really in his style, and they really need him on a harder carry of a champion, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So we will be able, most likely, see that going top or support, depending on the matchup. But rest of the bans coming through, not the bans, I apologize. The picks, we will have the Thresh in response, so that will be there.
Oh, the Darius.
Ooh, yeah. Blood, obviously, a very proficient Darius. He was the, this was a champion that he did get the Penta on in week 2 or 3, not very sure. So that will be, good into any champion that Chuck decides to play. We'll have to see if he decides to pick maybe one of the counters that are open, or maybe if he just wants to take the Lulu or the Karma. And so the Karma will be the third round. Now, this also could go mid or top. So there's a lot of flex going around for the side of Control Wards.
So I think that if this all goes haywire, I think that Control Wards are really going to question whether that Morgana ban was worth letting the Darius through. Putting blood on his best champion seems an incredibly risky gambit.
Potentially, yeah. I think even though Darius is very, very strong, if you do play the right champions and get help from your jungler, you can take him down, right? If you see a Lulu or Karma, you can definitely play around your abilities and play around Darius to make sure that he can't just, hyper skill the game. And if you knock him out early, he does not come back to the game too easily. So as long as I play the match right and play the lanes right, this could be fine. It could be fine to leave up, since Darius isn't too much of like a team comp kind of champion. It's more like you're on your own solo lane and you're just, you'll win the game outright. So if it ends up right, it might. Who knows, though.
So we're seeing a few more bans. The Hecarim away from TJ, Syndra away from Control. They're really targeting a lot of Control's hyper carries here. I'm curious to see if he what he goes for at this point. Most of the traditional control champions have been removed. That's the Viger that he did Verd did so well on against them in Game 3 as well. So it's interesting. A lot of comfort taken away from the mid laners on both sides, the Zillion and the Viger, and the plethora of control champs taken away. Do you have any predictions for what he pulls out?
I don't really know. There's been a lot of prio against him with all the bans coming through. Basically, almost all of round 2 was mid lane champion. So it will be interesting to see Cass being the final ban of round 2. But Skarner will be coming in with the recent buffs. Skarner, I believe, is maybe even, I think he might be the top tier, even one of the top 3 junglers. If the recent
very
buff is
fast.
coming, I don't believe so. That the buff that the patch is coming, but with the new patch, he will be one of the top tier with all that CC. And this might be why they wanted to ban the Morgana, since Skarner would be a different champion with that on the Rift. But we need to see the complete comp there for Team Versus the Word. So it will be Sion. So that is, it could be a Sion jungle.
Oh, that's a Sion jungle. Yep.
Yeah. Tank junglers were very, very prominent in the beginning of the season because of the strength of the tank items. So I do like Sion jungle. It is very, very strong, especially if you just don't die, you'll just become a non-killable tank. And we will see the Orianna, a very, very solid pick when not the Darius. When the Sion just clicks R, you can throw the Orianna ball on top of him and then get the shockwave, and that does a lot of damage. So this is a pretty strong frontline comp here for Team Versus the Word.
Yes, I agree with I definitely like the fact that they have a solid frontline. Sion and Thresh can provide a lot of space for the Kai'Sa and the Ori to stay back. Darius, obviously, if he can get some good flanks off, he's in good position. Alessandra. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a very weird comp. I guess I don't hate it. Maybe because they're kind of.
It's very fast comp.
Yeah, and especially if they do get a kill from Alessandra, her passive will be very, very strong. Plus, this is a very, very heavy CC based comp with all different kinds. Yeah. Almost every
they have they have tremendous amount of lockdown if the Darius or the Kai'Sa goes in by themselves. I think that the problem that they might run into, especially with that Sion, especially if the Sion gets tanky early, is that there's not a ton of damage in this comp. Lissandra is not a hyper scaling damage threat in the way that a Cassiopeia or a Syndra or a Victor are. She is good for bursting out squishies because squishies obviously have less base HP and you can just lock them down, do a rotation of spells, and wipe them out. Sivir is basically the only hard damage threat on this comp, and Sion, if he builds a decent amount of armor and health, is probably going to be able to laugh off this team's attempts to restrain him. Same with Darius. If he gets tanky enough, Sivir probably won't have time to chew through him before he gets onto their backline, especially with combination of Stride Breaker, speed from the Orianna, etc. So it's if there's one thing that makes me nervous about Control Words comp, it's just the lack of damage. I think that the Lissandra may have been a bit of a I don't know if that was quite the pick. I'm not sure if they could have maybe gone with like an Anivia or some other late game hyperscaling control mage, but I'm not sure that Lissandra is going to do the damage.
Right. I guess you could argue that maybe the safety that Lissandra provides with the kind of the dive that you want to see from Team Versus the Word, since Thresh wants for the hooks, Sion wants to go in and they can obviously get hooked there from the Darius. So I guess it could work out for that reason, for the safety, but I think the Sivir, that's kind of seems like they want to play around their win con, right? They got the Lulu, so they can just basically hyperscale that ADC, and Sivir does a lot of damage. She will output a lot of damage if she can get all those items, get that to that essentially 400 CS win con. And even if
the dream,
the dream. Even if there is the the armor stack, there is a lot of AP on this team. So even if it's not true high damage champions, there will be damage coming through because these champions can do enough. So it will be interesting to see how it goes. But I would be a little worried. But if the early game goes well for them, or they just don't die, I think this will be a very interesting team fight, since there will be a lot of healing and a lot of sustain.
That definitely is in their favor. Chuck last time went the Moonstone Renewer Staff of Flowing Water build, and his shields were massive. If he can consistently be applying those out in team fights, that's going to be quite a challenge to cut through. And there's certainly the CC to keep the Darius and the Kai'Sa restrained. I think that one thing that I want to call out here, though, is some of the more interesting summoner spell choices. Verd is going Cleanse along with the Devious, trying to mitigate some of that heavy CC. But on the side of Control Wards, we don't actually have a single teleport. They have Ignite on the Lissandra and Exhaust on the Karma. That's a very greedy approach. The Karma is basically doing that just so that she doesn't feed in lane. Which, I mean, if you can avoid feeding blood, fantastic, and Karma's a great champion to do it on. But you're giving up a lot of ability to help out your team. If that Darius teleports across map and picks up a double kill, then all of your attempts to stay safe and not feed him are kind of for waste because you can't travel with him. So
Yeah.
we'll see if it pays off. It's a gamble for sure. Plus, if they're able to get a sneaky kill or a sneaky maneuver on Karma and she has a bad back time, there's no teleport to cushion that. If you miss a wave, Blood's the sort of player who will and can and will punish that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I would probably make the argument that Karma has so much shield that you shouldn't really need to take the exhaust early as long as you're just playing smart. Because as long as you just, if he ease you, then you just put your root down so you can just walk back and everything's fine. Like, you won't need that exhaust, really. I guess you could argue that you might need that for late game, but I think that the teleport for the ability to affect the map, like, at any time would definitely be invaluable, especially since Blood did not go Ghost. And maybe that's what Chuck was betting on, not really sure, but I would probably agree teleport would have been much more useful, at least on one of the carries, so they can have that. But I do respect the cleanses on both Devious and Verd for the Skarner ult, as well as any other CC coming through.
The cleanse won't work on Skarner ult. Cleanse doesn't work on suppression. So
Gotcha.
they're still going to have to pay the Quicksilver tax or not pay it, I guess, depending on how like gutsy they feel. But Skarner moves in at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Not buying the Quicksilver if you're a primary carry is a questionable decision. I would argue an incorrect one.
Yeah, I would definitely agree that if there's not a Quicksilver Savage bought in this game, they are trolling. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see how these comps want to play out. I will be curious to see who decides to affect the map more early on, and maybe if Team Control maybe just wants to play it slow and scale. Well, I'll have to see if Team vs. the Word wants to try to punish that in any way.
Yeah, and one of the things that I kind of also want to call out in here that our chat was very kind enough to show us or remind us of, is the fact that Darius' ult is true damage, so the exhaust actually doesn't do anything to it. So that I'm not sure if Chuck realizes that, or maybe he knows it and he just wants to mitigate the other damage, but the jungler, like, maybe if it was a Kindred, I would get it as the jungler. You can maybe mitigate her damage when she comes in, but a Scion isn't the sort of exhaust target you normally would like. I don't know. We'll see how this all pans out, but I'm really, if they lose this, I'm going to question the exhaust pick quite a bit.
Yeah, hey, maybe it's we see a team fight with there's a perfect exhaust and we are proven wrong, but well, there's a waiting game, so we'll have to see. But early predictions, obviously, why don't we do that while we're just getting the farming start? Who do you think is going to take away this game one?
Take away this game one, I think it goes to Verd is the Word, just on the strength and the fact that I don't think that Control Wards' comp is going to deal enough damage, unless AI Box puts on massive carry pants, which, to be fair, he's very capable of doing. But a lot of the weight is on him to make this not an early loss.
Yeah, I probably have to agree with you. The comp from Team Control Wards just seems too situational, seems too dependent on like a lot of factors going right in their favor. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity for Verd the Word to punish, or just not to fall into like any of the traps where they just outscale them. So early start though for everyone goes as we would expect. Chuck is going to not have too much power on the lane, since if he steps up, that will be maybe to his death. So he'll be down a little bit of CS. But we do have junglers going in the same pathway. We do have the Skarner and the Scion both on the top side. We'll be getting to their buffs, so we'll have to see if there's any kind of early gank here soon.
So yeah, and as we watch this top lane, it's one of my biggest criticisms for Chuck in the last game was the fact that he very much likes his empowered Q, which, don't get me wrong, I definitely do too when I play Karma. But one of the things that I never saw him whip out was the empowered W. And the empowered W is what makes solo lane Karma so potent. Because you can, yeah, see, there we go. Like, he's using a lot of the empowered Qs to harass, but he really needs that empowered W now to heal himself and keep himself healthy against this Darius. Granted, he does have Corrupting Pot, two stacks left on it, or 2 charges left on it, to none for Darius. So that gives him a little bit of safety to just sit back and relax. Looks like we have a gank coming in.
Yeah, TJ's here in the mid lane, but I think Control will be able to just walk out. Yep, we'll barely dodge that Q from TJ, so nice little footwork there. I'm pretty sure we've been able to get that ability out as well, but I think it also is interesting to bring to attention that Blood win Corrupting Pot as well. Normally, you don't see Darius go Corrupting. You usually see a Doran's Blade or a Shield. Most likely Shield.
A little fight in the bot lane.
Yeah, we just get some trades back. Not too much damage can be put out this early. We'll get the Thresh Lantern there to pull them away. So just a little bit of poke, little skirmish there. We will have TJ pathing bot though. Skarner is here as well. So these junglers have been on the side of the map for almost the entirety of the game. But Sion will be backing. Skarner has the opportunity to gank, but there is a ward in their jungle, so Team Versa will know if Skarner's coming. But so far, just a little bit of an advantage there in top lane with CS for the Proud that Blood has. But all in all, it's basically just a pretty standard early game. No deaths or kills yet.
One of the things I'm kind of surprised about is the small CS lead that Devious and Reform Bully are managing to eke out for themselves. I expect that to go down as Sivir starts to ramp up, but it's a nice early advantage for them. And frankly speaking, if Kaisa can make it to the late game and be fully charged or fully effective, it will mitigate a lot. It will add just that much more threat that Sivir and the rest of Team Control wards has to handle.
Yeah, definitely. And we just saw Blood TP back top, so we will not have that if there's any potential dragon fight early, or if there's maybe a gank that he needs to join. So I guess it works out that choice does not happen, so he doesn't have to worry that Blood will have to use it. But yeah, obviously having that Thresh will give you a little bit more pressure there early game, since if there's a hook landed onto the Lulu, she might not be able to make it out of there alive. Obviously, if AI Box has his own mana shield there up, he will be able to mitigate that. So Thresh can be very annoying to play into a champion like Sivir, but they're obviously just playing it safe and slow, since all they need to do is not die and this kind of comes online. So we'll have to see if that...
I would argue that works in the favor of Control wards, though. They don't need their bot lane to do much early. It's, as we pointed out, a Sivir. There's not much to be done. Oh, dear me.
TJ will flash in, but he does not hit the E. He will have the Q there, so Chuck will actually dodge out of it perfectly. Not sure why TJ just didn't hold that for longer, let Blood come in for a potential E, though. But Skarner now is passing topside. I'm not sure if they win this.
I don't know. You definitely don't want this.
But Blood will begin his stacks there on Chuck. If he lands all 5, that would be really, really bad. But Chuck will flash out. Kind of will just support Sword, put that shield down, has the W over it. Blood is 6, but Lyssandra's here. She's level 62. Ult will come down onto Blood. He will flash out. Scoremaster will flash in. Blood is slowly burning down as Sword. I think will nope, because Lysandra will finish that kill off on him. First Blood goes over to him, as now TJ will be the next one to go. But Bird is here. He will throw down the Orianna ball. Chuck getting the shields down there as TJ is getting very, very low. There's a Swordmaster will end the ultimate, but only onto Control. Does not catch out Sword, unfortunately. So that means Team Versa Word will have to back off.
Oh, jeez. TJ!
Yeah, there is vision there, so Swordmaster will know. He will be able to get this kill, I think, before Bird will come, but that's a great, whatever plant that's called. Swordmaster actually dies!
Jeez,
oh, no, TJ played that perfectly. Pops the plant in the river just to perfectly get him enough HP. W shield comes up, and he just lands a great Q. Vertus there to support, and that is a easy 1-for-1.
That's a heartbreaker for Swordmaster. That looked like Sion was dead to rights, but TJ knows his jungle Sion. That was very, very cleanly played. It's a little unfortunate the kill went to him and not to the Orianna, I think, given that Lysandra was able to pick up the first blood. But all things considered, solid turnaround for Virtus the Word. And very good play also by Control wards to abuse blood and get that early kill onto Lysandra. If she's going to be the damage threat she needs to be, this is how she does it.
Yeah, definitely. And that was, like you said, big brain from TJ to pop that plant, just give him enough HP. But that was a lot of Summoner Swells burns, so there's a lot of regank potential. Chuck only burn the flash, just like Blood. TJ, obviously, and Swordmaster will have flash, and then Control burn his flash and ignite. So there's a lot of potential for either of these jungles to affect the map. But Blood actually has roamed down to mid, maybe just to pick it up, as Void was on a reset. So he will back off, go back to top lane. But right now, there's just a slight advantage here for Control Wards, just simply because they are farming a little bit better in the mid and bot lane, but not by much. So,
yeah, and that's being traded off in large part. Oh my gosh!
Ooh, we will see the exhaust coming in. He should be able to get out just enough since Blood does not have flash, but he actually walks back in.
Chuck, back off!
Yeah, Blood was putting that very, very smart. He held on to the E until Chuck threw down the W. So that was really smart by him. But yeah, he had the exhaust, so he would be, you know, fine there. So he will burn that, but that means Chuck has to play this respectfully, since if he ever walks up again, Blood should be able to get that kill.
Yeah, 100%. And like we were saying, I don't know that exhaust would have even protected him if the ult had come out. It just so happened that the timing wasn't right. They couldn't get Blood couldn't get enough stacks on him. I don't entirely know how he's managing to land this damage on Chuck. That shouldn't be possible at this point. Wait, well, that's how, I guess. Chuck just runs into Blood's range. He really needs to be respectful of that. Otherwise, there's no point in playing the Karma.
Yeah, Swordmaster will be spotted on that ward, so there won't be any potential gank there. But bot side, we did see TJ pick up that first dragon. It was the Ocean, so we will be able to see which Soul Dragon comes in next. But Swordmaster actually is here in the mid lane. Ult will come down, but there will be a cleanse coming through. Verta will throw down the ult there onto Control, so very, very low HP there. Q will come in. TJ will just blow up Control, but there will be an ult down under tower. Not sure if TJ will die in time. We will have, he will be able to walk out. But Blood actually solo kills Chuck on the top side out of screen. Thresh roams up, but a little bit of a weird interaction there with the Q, but Swordmaster should be fine. We'll just have to burn his ult for nothing in return. But that is a 2 for nothing, and that will be very, very good to see from the side of Verges the Word.
So I'm a little confused. I'm not sure that I want to know how the Karma managed to get picked there, but how did Skarner not have his ultimate for the start of that fight? I feel like he should have been ulting the Scion way before that point. He may have just gotten it off of a minion dying, but that's really unfortunate timing.
Yeah, you're probably right. I wasn't sure if he hit level 6 or not, but yeah, if he had it, if he threw down that ult as Scion was queuing, it probably would have been a much different fight. But unfortunately, Bird flashing away, he had a great cleanse. Unfortunately, does not get anything as a result. But I think, like you said, topside, Chuck is just not able to mitigate the damage of Blood at this point. The second he, you know, steps up, Blood will just eat him, go for the W, get a Q, and he'll just slowly lose his HP. And unfortunately, there's not enough shielding that you can mitigate if you have 0.
But the thing is that it should never matter. The mitigation is obviously nice on Karma, but it shouldn't matter because Blood should never be in range of Karma. Karma has the ability to farm at distance. She should never be in the range of the Darius E, and she needs to be playing that safely. It's very possible that, I'm guessing from the ward in that bush, that Darius was basically hiding in the bush waiting for her. The Karma needs to recognize that. Her job is not to bully Blood. Her job is to stay at that turret, collect farm, get her Moonstone Renewer and Staff of Flowing Water, and be relevant in team fights. She does not need to be ever going into the Darius's range.
Sword is here in the mid lane, but he actually will flash, get the ult by Control. Now will be going in and has his ultimate as well. It's a great shockwave coming in, but unfortunately Verdwolf, oh wow, he almost threw that kill. The Lantern was there, but Control will just pick it up. Blood will have to burn the TP, but unfortunately, kill comes in before he gets there. So, great pickup there. Good flash in there for Swordmaster to pick up that. Oriana almost got away, but will be a burned TP for nothing. But I think you did highlight a great point there. Of Chuck really shouldn't be walking up to Blood so he can just lose all his HP. But I think that also brings up another important point that you didn't specifically say, is that Chuck is bad. So right now, game state, 12 minutes in the game, 3 kills to 2, only 5 kills. TJ does have 2 kills to himself, so he will be getting to the really tanky stage. But right now we do have the Thresh topside potentially looking for a gank there onto Chuck. He does not have vision, so if Blood does get a great E on there, which Flash is coming in now, he will get the shield speed away, but the hook can still be there. Ooh, great flash from Chuck, but the hook does land. But we're going for the E, ult there from the Thresh. Not sure if Chuck will die in time, but just needs to get one more hit, and that will be the death of Chuck. We'll have to flash out, but Reform Bully just picks that up, so maybe not the best person, but it is a kill nonetheless.
Chuck, that one's unfortunate.
There. Yeah, definitely.
they're doing a good job of making sure that that Chuck is kept down. Oh,
yeah, TJ then going in for the ult, not
Lemon?
onto anyone. Lemon is very, very low, but AI Box going for the solo kill onto Dev. Needed one more auto, but now TJ going in there onto Lemonilla. He'll be going through, but Skarner is back. That's a great flash Q there from AI Box. Picks up the kill there. Now Control is here, as TJ will be getting ulted there from under tower. He will be falling. Shut down there, goes off of Control, but Verdant Reform, Bully, our heroes have to be careful. TJ going in. The Shockwave, I think, is up, so it could be coming through shortly, but they will kill the Scion passive just in time. Bird will now have to run. The Swordmaster's now trying to clear out the jungle. Ball is put down. Lulu has to be careful, but with, I believe, the dragon spawning, yep, in 15 seconds, this will most likely be a Infernal Dragon for control wards, but TJ is back up in 5 seconds. They could maybe try to look for something. Blood is on the reset, is walking back mid, so there could be a fight at the tail end, but Karma ult puts the Skarner walking up, but might just sit in the bush. Nope, go back off. Dragon is alive. Team Verges the Ward does not have vision. They will throw out the control ward, so they know the Dragon is started up. Blood is here with Orion. TJ is also very, very close by, so we could go for a potential try to have to walk around the pit though, but very, very low HP in there. Thresh Hook will not land. 4 HP, 13 HP. Red team will get that play on their Tormaster. Very, very low HP. Will unfortunately die there. To Bloodbath the end does not get the ult off, so there is no 5 stacks. Control wards now just running away. They have more than enough.
Oh my gosh! That poke.
Yeah, great poke there from AI Box and from Shut, but that is a, I guess, 1-for-1 in the very end with all those kills. They will have a dragon, so this will definitely be in the favor of control wards. But fight could not be over, as we do have 5-man bot against the 3 of Team Control Wards. There is a sound key that will land onto Lemonilla, but you should be able to walk out just in case. Oh, that's a great ult there from Bert. He will be taking down Lemonilla, but there is no minions, so you have to be careful. There is a lot of damage here from AI Box. He does have low mana. You have to be careful. There's a W there onto Blood. He will get rooted, but he will be able to walk away from tower range. Control, though, alone in the mid lane, just getting those damage on that tower. But Verges the Word will walk away. They will get a kill for the trouble, and the gold lead down becomes 1k in their favor.
Yeah. That hard pressure bot, I think, was a waste, because now they're going to give first turret over to Lissandra. Again, not the person you really want to be giving this to. He's up 30 CS. He's got 3 kills. Like, yes, getting the kill for Verd was important, and Blood somehow picked up 2? Oh, you know, one of them was from Chuck up top. But yeah, it's I don't know exactly how worth pressuring 5 on that turret was. Personal opinion.
Yeah,
because this is going to also open up Lissandra's ability to roam a lot more.
Yeah, 100%. So, that is a great point. Thank you, Avon. Darius is building full tank. Does not go for any kind of damage, going any slow ability. He has the full tank build. That is very, very interesting.
Uncharacteristic.
Yeah, uncharacteristic. I assume that he might just want to, go in and just get a bunch of kills. But this will be a Rift Hero there going over to Control's team. He will actually get the ult out because Blood is unfortunately overstepped here. He will most likely be going down, but he will be able to walk out. We will have a not AI Fox, we will have Control walking through the top jungle as well, getting ulted there by the Skarner. He'll have 5 people on him. Kill will be going there over to AI Box, shut down over to him. So that is from bad to worse there. As I do 100% agree with you, forcing the 5-man bot, not really worth it. You only got Lemonilla. I don't think really getting just a support kill is really worth, especially if you lost the mid tower, and you didn't even get a tower back in response. So gold lead is a little bit closer here, but that is a great cleanse there. Bird will have to flash out. Ultimate does come down. Only on touch of Lemonilla. We will have the Zanya there as AI Box will be taking down the Thresh. Great kill from TJ. Not sure if he can kill Control in time. Ult comes there from Lemonilla. We'll be taking the safety of Control, but TJ tries to land a Q in the fadeaway, but unfortunately will die to Control. So this is a really, really great capitalization, and so much overstep from the team of Verges the Word.
What a fantastic performance. They're putting Control very far ahead, and frankly speaking, I know he's my brother, but Lemon is clean on these Lulu saves. Very, very well done and very heads up, paying attention. And it's very easy to kind of pick your favorite person to target with the Lulu ults, like save it for the Sivir, use it to knock people up. It was very, very heads up of him to recognize that Control was probably in trouble with that Scion and be on top of that. So, I don't know. Very, very impressed thus far.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why Lulu is such an annoying champion, right? She has so many abilities to keep your champions alive, not only through the shields, but from the polymorph. So Lemon playing this so expertly well, even though he's been, you know, cut out just once, enabling his team so very well, and that's why AI Box is 3-0-3, and Control is 5-1-2. At this point, this game is very in the favor of Control Wards, but the carries of Birds of Word are still strong because he's only died once. Has been farming pretty well. Bird is by no means out of the game, only down just because of the roams that have been in his lane. But
I would say Verd is very much down. Like 4 kill difference, 30 CS. Like that's not where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take, well, actually, take a look at the gold. He is down just above 2K, so there is a little bit of a difference. We'll pick up a little bit more there.
Wait, no, Skarner, did you miss it?
Yeah, unfortunately, Skarner does lose the battle there for the blue buff. Dragon will be spawning in 20 seconds, but yeah, basically most of this gold lead for Versus the Word is on Blood on the top side. He has almost 3K above Chuck, just simply because of the CS differential. But obviously, Karma's not playing for the lane, she is playing for the late game, so at this point it is fine. Chuck will not land. Reform Bully tried to run into someone, but with Dragon spawning, Blood is still pushing top. He does have TP,
Hey,
so
Karma probably needs to rotate up there. Like, I recognize that the Blood has TP for it, but he's just gonna take the entire turret. Uh-oh, Lemon,
yeah,
we don't
will
want
land
that.
there onto Lemonella. He will throw down the ultimate there on them, keep himself alive. Skarner will get the ultimate there onto Verd, as Verd might be dying very shortly. We have the flanking AI box that gets a great E before TJ has to flash out. TJ very low HP, great Lantern there from Thresh will keep him alive, so this could still be a contested dragon. TJ does not have flash, unfortunately. He does have a vision for it. While it's here though, AI box will have to flash away, but will have to be careful as he gets a little bit of a slow. Chuck is now here to say 5v4. Lots of shields and mitigation there from the side of Control Wards. Hook does land to Skarner. There's a great Q response. That might be the death of Skarner, but Blood will get a great ultimate there onto Swordmaster. Now tries to go in for more. Blood just gets the 5 stacks there. Oh, it's a great flash Q. Does land the ult, but he will die in return. As Dev now gets a great ult and gets 1 kill, but unfortunately cannot get any more. AI Box will take him down. TJ and Reform Bully, very low HP. He is staying around. TJ does have Smite up, so he could be looking for his steal. Swordmaster is down, but Team Control Wards will just back off from Dragon, but it has not reset. They will know that TJ is in the bush. Airbox is staying around. Wards resets are not coming through. TJ looks like he's walking away. Control Wards now should have control of the river as Verd is now returned back from the death. Swordmaster running bot, so there should be a dragon for Team Control Wards, but that was a very
careful.
Very
be careful of that Oriole.
Yeah, Oriole is back. She could go for the steal. 2J is also still around. Blast Cone is up, but they do not have any vision. And only 3,000 HP left. Yep, the dragon will reset. TJ goes into the pit. 4v3 now as Reform Blaze onto the side. Does get a great token of Karma. So blue team actually a great smite. Steals the dragon, but that TJ will have to trade his life for that. So honestly, in the end, that might be worth it, but maybe not worth it with how much of kills they had to give over to Control Wards in the fight beforehand. So all in all, it is 8 kills to 12 in the end, and the gold lead now is in the favor of Team Control Wards.
Yeah, they're keeping this remarkably close. Referring to Verd as the word. Yeah, they're only have allowed 400 gold lead, 300, sort of fluctuating back and forth. Tied up turrets. I'm not certain that Cloud Drake is quite worth trading all of those resources over. And I don't know that producer. Can we take a look at the gold lead? I'm curious where it is. I feel like it's all on Blood again. Yeah, it is. Which, as the producer properly pointed out previously, full tank Darius with all your gold is again risky. It's not. They're going to need him to build some damage eventually. Otherwise, this is going to be a very difficult uphill battle.
And we just did see Reform Blade with a great lantern there, saving Blood from the 4 members of Control Wards. But I guess for the reason of you might want all of your gold onto a tank player, since that means he probably won't die as fast. And he almost did get a great team fight win, right? He got the 5 stacks, got the ult reset on his kill, and when he flashed in, he did get some of the 5 stacks on, but he unfortunately did not live long enough. So I think he might need some MR to mitigate some of the damage from the Karma and the Lissandra. But right now, control of the top river is in the favor of Control Wards. They will be trying to clear out all the vision of Verse the Word, maybe trying to go for an early Baron, maybe just trying to bait it out, because they might have a little bit of a better team fight. But Lissandra will bring herself to safety, as looks like they're just trying to maybe look for a bait or maybe a potential pick.
Yeah, so looking at this, they're sort of bouncing back and forth between the two lanes. It's an interesting predicament because without teleport, they need to keep that top wave pushed. Otherwise, Blood can just sort of run it down whenever he is so inclined. So they need to keep pressure on him, but that also means that it's harder for them to split bot and take advantage of the situation down there. Which, as you can see, Blood is also now tilting to the bot side of the map for that exact reason. Baron is kind of the play at this point, or the biggest objective up, and they want to make sure that somebody either has to come down to match him, or he gets free time to shove the lane to his choosing.
Yeah, let me know they'll have to play a little safer there since CJ and Blood were around. So if he does get caught, he will be immediately blown up. But now Blood actually goes in pretty deep to the jungle. Just get a great hook there into Swordmaster, but not sure if he can get anything. Actually gets ulted there. It's a great Q there from the Scion as he will get the 5 stacks. Actually, this is a huge team fight for Team Versus the Word as Darius just gets so many stacks, so many kills. Actually, great ulted from Lissandra to keep herself alive for just a little bit longer, but unfortunately, she will be dying. Ooh, that's a great flash, but the Shockwave does not land into much. Chuck is down here. Control will be safe as Chuck will land the Q there onto him, but not much will come in return. But that is 3 for 0, as that was a huge Scion Q. Kai'Sa dives in, but now Chuck might have to flash out there. Hook barely misses as they will have to play a little bit safer, since this mid turret will now be falling, and they might actually get 2 here. There's some decent wave clear there from Lissandra, so they might be able to protect it. But yeah, that was a great capitalization there from Team Versus the Word.
Yeah, I was actually very impressed also with the Control's ability to stay alive there. I thought he was dead to rights, but he knew exactly when his wave was coming, how much damage the enemy team was willing to tolerate under the turret. Good nerves of steel from him. I also want to call out TJ. He has been everywhere in terms of, or he's just been very on top of this blue buff, constantly making sure that that doesn't fall into Lissandra's hands.
Yeah, TJ doing a great job of playing around those objectives, since he did steal that very, very early on, so he will know the reset timer, and these fights are just going perfectly enough to where he can just easily rotate over there and grab it. But we will have a Cloud Dragon spawning in about 45 seconds. Control Wards again has control of the river early. Blood slip pushing again topside. He does have TP, so he will be able to join the fight if they need to. There is some deep vision, so Control Wards will know who's around and know they are not too close, as Lissandra will be getting a quick reset off before the dragon spawns. But this will probably be a very, very important team fight for both teams, since I believe whoever wins this team fight will now have control of the game. Was in favor of Control Wards, but that last team fight obviously put them a little bit behind, and with a great, capitalization there from Blood and TJ, they're now more in the game than they were before. But 10 seconds, we'll have some wards coming through as they are cleared out there. Blood is still topside. Lissandra has reset and has rejoined as Verd will be pushing out this bot wave and will be rotating up. So this will be a bit of a split fight potentially, as the dragon has been started. Verd is
that's dangerous
for a good shockwave as TP will be coming in. Blood will be coming in as Swordmaster just goes to the flash onto Verd, does not get him away since Verd will flash away. Great hook there onto Swordmaster as well. Will now be looking for the execute, but he will be ulted in response as there was the great shockwave there from Orianna. Berg is killed to Lemonella, but Blood cannot get the execute there into Swordmaster, but Davis will be able to pick up that kill. Control goes into the ultimate as AI Box and Chuck are trying to 2v3, but unfortunately AI Box cannot stay alive as Chuck just leaves him to die. Control will be the next to follow as Davis will throw out the cleanse. That is a double kill for the Kai'Sa, and that is a 4-4-0 for Team Versus the Word.
Well done by Verd for not getting Skarner ulted there. That was very, very smooth. I really question the choice to try to force this dragon. I think that their biggest, Control Ward's biggest risk in these fights, as you saw, is being split up and allowing Blood to get a solid flank on here. How you avoid the flank? Let them be the one to come into the open first and then engage on them. That's honestly what this comp is supposed to be good for. Like, you got the fast move speed from the Sivir, from the Karma, from the Skarner. You want to be able to know where all of the opponent is and then go off and pick your target. It's not ideal when they're the ones coming in from all directions, because then you just have to run, and you lose a lot of the value that the comp brings. Personal opinion there, but I think that fighting, especially over a Cloud Drake, is of questionable value, and I think that they're being punished for it.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was sold points, so I definitely could have just given it up. Maybe just try to look for some, more gold through turrets. But I think, like you said, they cannot get flanked like that, because if they do get pinched into one little area, we saw that the Orianna, I think, landed onto 4 members, 4 or 3 members. So because of all that damage that came through, they were just easily able to just immediately engage. And there was just Blood immediately went in, got the reset off, got so many kills. TJ was with the follow-up, and then Deb with the ult over the top. Just, output so much damage, and there's nothing they could do with the little short CC there from the Orianna Shockwave. So they need to make sure if the team fights do come in for team control wards, it needs to be front to back. They can't let them get just, collapsed upon. So Baron will still be up. Teams are now clearing out the division as Team Burns will be looking to take away the scuttle, try to, minimize any gold that team control wards can have with their jungle. But right now, gold lead now is back in the favor of Team Burns the Word with a
5,000
gold lead. That is a great ult there. Chuck will be hooked, and he will fall. Swordmaster, though, is going in. Does that great. The ultimate there onto the Kaisa. A-Box is here to take him down, but Deb will try to ult away to survive. But actually, on the other side, yeah, Control gets just blows up Verd, but now Reform Boy will have to run away. He should be able to get away just fine, but this probably means Baron is on the table for Control Wards. The junglers both are still up, though, so TJ could look for a steal, but they will not have their main damage carry in Orianna and Kaisa, so it should be a relatively easy Baron unless Blood and TJ have able to save. There will be a great Q there, land into AI box. He will be stunned up, but looks like great damage coming. Reform Boy is very, very low. TJ will have to be careful and walk back. You'll see the lantern there from the Thresh. TJ very, very low HP, will die, but there's a reset there for Blood. Tries to get something done as Swordmaster. It will be actually killed there. Blood now going in so low HP. Control just barely gets out. Will throw those Zanyas, but double kill there for Blood. He will be looking for the triple kill. That was a triple. Is that a quadra kill? That's a quadra kill for Bloodbath and Beyond.
That was horrible, horrible target selection by Control Wards. And I'm going to blame Lemon a little bit for that. In this fight, you need to be saving your polymorph and polymorphing that Darius. Like, there's nobody else in that fight who matters. That Scion is not relevant. They don't have either of their carries. The only way they can lose the fight is if Darius is able to go big. And you saw that.
Chuck. I'm not sure if he has the ultimate up, but he actually will be ruining the tower. Might just tread out his life, but just barely gets the kill in time. That will be an ace there for Bloodbath and Beyond.
Unofficial Penta.
Yeah, and that is second Penta of the TCL to my knowledge. But yeah, I think like you said, target selection was really, really poor. And I think TJ played that so very well. He was in the bush. He was out of vision, landed a great Q, which allowed the team to start to get that fight. Thresh played it around perfectly, allowed his team to use the Lantern to get the safety. Once Blood got to his 5 stacks, got to his hemorrhage, he was just able to do so much damage, landed a great Q, and then at that point, dunks come through. So Tank Darius is doing apparently very, very well. I was going to criticize that if they did lose, because it looked like they were going to, but apparently...
I mean, the gold was never all that far off, as we noted at the time, but... And even now, like, with the kills that were traded, I think they only gained like 1,000 gold in terms of marginal benefit there. It still is anybody's game. It's just they need to shut it. Like, when you are having a fight with 2 of the enemy carries down, you need to know who the actual threats are. The Scion is not an actual threat. The Thresh is not an actual threat. Any auto attack that Sivir, that Lissandra, that even like the Skarner is not doing on the actual threat of Darius is wasted. They're like, it's all, I don't know. I'm very frustrated with that fight because they had the tools to win that and they just were incredibly sloppy about it.
Yeah, I think like you said, they just focus TJ when that's not really the target they need to focus. They need to attack one of the carries, right? If they focus Blood there, he most likely would have died, and that would have prevented them from just getting quadra killed and unofficial pented. So we will have the Soul Dragon now spawning as Stormmaster goes to flash there into the Thresh. Not sure if that was the best member to engage upon, but he actually doesn't even die, so that was a really, really wasted ultimate there. As now the Scion is engaging. Chuck now is splitting the top side. He was trying to slow down. This will be a huge damage coming through. Lemonil was looking it out, but there's an ultimate there from Professor Devis will be slaying Lemonil. Swordmaster can do nothing but fall as Aobox will pick up Devis and response, and we'll be able to flash out. Bloodbath Beyond goes godlike as this is a 3v3, so honestly, not the worst fight in the world.
Yeah, that actually turned out better than I thought it was going to.
Fight is not over though, as now the Dragon will be started up there by Team Burgess the Word Control, and Chuck will be trying to poke him out as Aobox is trying to sync up with his team as Blood is just trying to zone away. Blood is actually very, very low HP.
Reformed?
It's some great healing. Aobox just 1v1s Reform. Bully does not respect the damage as Scion will be trying to finish off his Dragon. Not really worth if it dies, and he will actually slay that Dragon in time. Aobox will take down the Darius.
Shutdown.
Very, very worth their shutdown as Aobox will get the double kill there, taking down huge shutdowns. as that is a, what is that, a 5-4-3 at the very, very end. Ace goes over to the Sivir, and that means there should be Baron for control wards.
Yeah, that's key. And I don't know. They should be able to take this Baron without too much threat. Like Orianna and Kai'Sa are coming down there, but that's dangerous. The Skarner's here. That Skarner is almost certainly, yeah, he has his ultimate up. That boy can run in at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I don't think that you can actually threaten them off this Baron.
Yeah, no, with Swordmaster up here and the damage that not Kai'Sa, the damage that Civ is going to output there is just too much. And unfortunately, TJ is still in the death timer, so even if they were there, all they could really do is probably just try to bait them off, but they might just die in the very end. So this will be
that was the
game
comeback fight that
can
they
be.
needed.
Yeah, definitely. That was a fight that determined the game. And so now this game is, I think, 50-50. Both these teams are very, very strong, and really just comes down to execution. Which team's going to play these fights better, and which team is going to maybe just make some macro mistakes.
Yeah, the gold lead is now down to 2,500 in favor of Word is the Word, and that's not all that substantial, especially when the gold leads on an individual basis are still very, very much in favor of who they want to have them on the control ward side. AI box is enormous. So is Lissandra. I mean, Chuck is once again almost being lapped by. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Silver Ultimate will come through. They're really trying to run down these
1,000,000-mile-an-hour starter.
One Q from AI Box just takes down almost half HP of a Form Bully. Swordmaster, though, wants to get that ultimate as he unfortunately cannot reach Verd in time. But that means they will have full priority of mid lane. But Blood is on the flank. This could be a really, really good fight if they do land some great ultimates there. Blood is on the flank. Chuck walks right into him. As actually might just walk into his death. Swordmaster, though, will get the ultimate there onto Blood. There will be a 4-man shockwave there from Verd. Double kill goes over to AI Box, but unfortunately, AI Box is just too strong. There will be a triple kill, as this most likely will be a quadra kill going over to AI Box. Nope. Lissandra will pick that up, but
and that's
it looked really, really good. Yeah, but this will be game going over to control.
If they lost that, I was about to scream at Lemon for not whimsying the Darius there, but that was a phenomenal collapse by the Skarner, by the Lissandra. I don't think that Blood realized that the Skarner hadn't ulted yet, because that was suicidal. Fantastic work by control wards.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I think Blood did realize, but he was on the flank to where if, he just being there would have put so much pressure on their team. And we saw that Verd landed, I think it was a 4-man shockwave. That was a perfect fight. I think it couldn't have gone any better. But the problem was Airbox was too far ahead. He is so very, very strong. We saw how much damage that he did that game. If we want to look at the damage charts, that is a
damage graph.
That is a bit of a carry difference.
Wait. Chuck almost did more than Devious.
Yeah.
Chuck was down 9,000 gold against Darius. How is that possible?
I think that might just be the nature of top lane, where Chuck most likely just throw out his Qs in lane, so he will just
no, but
that way.
Yeah, I guess, but it's like Kai'Sa should not be like almost out damaged by. Can we go back to the gold graph or the main screen production? All right, 15k gold to 9,000 gold. Okay, so it's not quite 9,000 gold down, but there's no world where a Kai'Sa, particularly a Kai'Sa with 236 CS and 1,300 gold, should be almost out damaged by a Karma. That's just not something that should be happening.
And I think that is a testament to the power of AI Box Lemonilla. They played this game so very well. 13-3-8. AI Box absolutely popped off. Lemonilla supported his team so very well. And the power of the support top, Chuck had so much shields, so much damage mitigation. That is the power of this team, especially when control was just left unchecked to scale. We saw how much damage they both did. I think they doubled every single player in the game. Not even Blood could have come close, and he got an unofficial penta. So I think this just goes to show how good of a team that control wards can be when all of their carriers are online and they're playing that well. But
I also
had some really good luck too.
I also want to comment, we were really skeptical of Control Ward's comp up front, thinking that Lissandra wouldn't have the damage to cut through the double tanks. But in keeping with the trend, players are proving Spirit wrong when he doubts. So keep it up, guys. This is looking to be a great series.
Yeah, second round. We will be back shortly for game 2, second round.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you're chasing. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time, so prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Rise. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions brave and one false step lead the end. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead beneath the dirt. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, do you know yet? Win or die. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Pick up your weapon and face it. Rise. Deep in your blood, deep in your blood, go and take it. You can chase it. Rise, rise.
What are you willing to lose? You cover your wounds, but underneath them, a million voices in your head that whisper, stop now. Another twist of the knife, a turn of the screws, it's all in your mind, and it's fighting you on yourself. The storm is coming. Wow, kid, what you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, phoenix fly. And now you're playing with matches, come out of the ashes underneath you.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Tilt Champions League. We just saw a very, very exciting and explosive game 1 against Team Versus the Word and Control Wards, to where we had the carries, AI Box, and Control himself just absolutely dominate that game in the late game.
No, without a doubt. That was very much the Control AI Box show. I feel like I was hard on him. I thought Lemon was also very on point in keeping his carries alive. I think Swordmaster had some key picks that absolutely blew the game wide open, especially locking down Darius in the final fight. And as hard as I was on him, Chuck's karma was really, really valuable in team fights. So it's going to be interesting to see how Versus the Word shakes things up. I think that Blood had a fantastic performance. TJ tried hard, but both of them are on tanks, and it's really, really difficult to carry on tanks if your primary carries aren't stepping up.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was one of the concerns that I had. Was I thought that Team Versus the Word was just going to win out of the game so much to where their comp wasn't going to get to that late game. But there was a lot of stabilization. There was a lot of just playing slow for Team Control Wards, and they're able to get to that late game stage. And because of how far ahead AI Box and Control got ahead in lane and how many kills they were able to get, they could just easily snowball that lead. And because of just the nature of their comp, the nature of the champions, they just, we saw how much damage they did in the end and how much damage they could take. So it was a comp difference in the very, very end, and they played it very, very well. And even if they did, drop a few kills here, they lost a few dragons, their comp just got, so much scaling behind them. And so that was one of the reasons why they're able to take game 1 here.
Yeah, without a doubt. Do you have any predictions for how Versus the Word is going to shake things up looking to game 2? I have a guess. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I don't know. They might try to take away one of the those scaling champions. I would probably say probably the Lulu over the Karma, since the Lulu has much more annoying abilities than the Karma does. And I think Blood did well into the Karma, right? I think Lemonella was much more valuable since the nature of Chuck going 0-2 in lane, and that led Blood to get more head. So if I'm them, I probably ban 2 to 3, and then I take the Lulu out as well. But otherwise, I think they need to go for more of an early game comp. I don't think they got outskilled there. I don't think they want to go for a Scion or anything like that.
Yeah, I would say I would put TJ on something that's a harder carry, and I'd reverse it. I would ban the Karma, because I think that the Karma is you have to either pick. I think that the way that they're going to try to use Chuck in these fights or in these games is just as a high utility champion, and Karma top I think is just way too safe. Lulu, if they leave up Lulu, yeah, Chuck can take Lulu top if they want to do the same thing, but then it forces Lemon onto something he's not as comfortable with, or it forces Chuck to pick something else. So I think that targeting AI Box instead.
Yeah, we take a look at these round 1 bans. We have the Kaisa, the Sivir, and then we have the LeBlanc. So a little bit of a change there, and then we have the Morgana, Zillion, and Udyr. So we will have the first pick, Lulu. But I do think it's a little funny that you said that Karma was just a very safe top laner when Chuck went down 0-2 in lane.
You can't fix bad positioning, but Karma gives you the tools.
Yeah, but this is a bit of a different kind of bot lane.
This is definitely a shake-up.
This Ashe, Seraphine. Now the Seraphine
it's a lot of
flex
CC.
Mid. Yeah, Seraphine could be flex mid, but Ashe is a very, very interesting ADC, since Ashe I would not consider a top tier ADC. I just don't think Ashe is very, very good in the state of the items. And if this is a support Ashe, maybe a little different. I don't know though.
It's definitely not a support Ashe. I think that it's a devious Ashe. I think that devious is very rarely his team's carry, but he's very good at playing these playing safe lanes and providing good utility. And Ashe feeds into that very well. I actually think that putting him on Kaisa against an 80 carry of AI Box's caliber is probably actually disadvantageous.
Could be fun.
I personally think that putting him on Ashe is a lot more, will bring a lot more utility to the team. And for the record, I think Seraphine's bot is support.
So in response, we will see the Fiddle and Xayah. Fiddle was not banned this game, so that will be going through, but we will see the Xayah. I do think that's a very, very smart pick, obviously. The safety of the ultimate can protect you from the Ashe R as well as the Seraphine R. So there's a lot of safety there in AI Box's Xayah. And if she gets to the late game, she is going to be outputting just as much damage as the Sivir will be. So this will also be the same top laner for Blood, since Darius is up. He did very well in that last game, so why not go for a round 2? So we will be seeing him on the Darius.
I expect this last one to be a karma ban for the record. If not, it's they're giving Chuck a reprieve, in my opinion, that he doesn't, that they shouldn't be. Yep, here it is.
Yep, and there's the karma. So the Victor will be banned away from Control as well. We usually see the Hecarim taken away from TJ, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another jungler as well. I don't think they're probably going to power anything on Verd, unless I could be mistaken. They probably don't really care about him. Oh, actually, we'll see the Pantheon. So maybe thinking that Seraphine could be a flex. Maybe it could...
no, I think that actually, I'm not sure what the idea is with the Pantheon. Do they think that TJ would use it? I think that's a mistake.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Pantheon could be flexed into all 3 lanes,
Multiple
to be honest,
positions.
but obviously with the Darius locked in, and now the Sejuani.
Okay, so the Sejuani, I'm assuming you're trying to start the fights before the Fiddle has a chance to. They've got the tools with the Ashe, the Sejuani, the Seraphine. That's a lot of CC to engage fights, and it provides a lot of locked targets for the Darius to go after. So that's I understand what they're going for there. I actually think that Lulu might be going top.
It's very, very possible. We will see Lissandra locked in again. Control obviously did very, very well. And
or a Gnar would be my other guess.
Yeah.
If they're willing to give...
We could be looking for any kind of fun picks here. Oh, the Braum.
The Lulu is going top! We'll see if Lemon's just trolling us. I think he's going Braum bot. I think they're sending Chuck top on Lulu. And
with the comp, I do like the Braum, right? The ship will mitigate a lot of the abilities there from the side of Where's the Word, right? Ashe Arrow can't come through, Sejuani ult as well, I believe. So there's a lot of good
I think it actually might even stop Seraphine ult. I need to double check on that though. Let me do a little research, shall we?
But this will be another similar comp here with all of the sustain there from the Lulu and now the Braum. But actually, we'll see a Lux coming through here as the final pick. That's a little bit of an interesting pick. Lux into Lissandra. I think this
you outrange, but God help you if Lissandra ever gets on you.
Right, especially if you do see the Fiddle roam, right? Because you just ult from the bush, Lissandra just gets the ultimate down, and you are just dead. This is some pretty interesting comps from both sides. There's a lot of shielding from the side of Team Where's the Word, right? You got the Lux W as well as the Seraphine shields and heals, so I don't hate it. I think especially for the dive that you want with the Fiddle and the Lissandra, that could be good. But there isn't so much damage, right? I don't really like Ashe as a champion in general. If you want to go for the utility, that's fine. But if the Lux does get ahead, you will be putting out a lot of damage.
I don't think the damage is the reason I would be skeptical of Verd is the word. I think that it's more Ashe or Devious and Verd didn't really it's not the champions I have a problem with. I don't know that the players are going to be able to dole out the damage, especially against if Control's Lissandra is as aggressive as it was previously. I think that they could be very effective at shutting out the Lux or the Ashe. And Fiddlesticks Braum, I think that we saw it a little bit in the game against LFA, but that's a powerful combo if you can sync the two. Because the Braum ultimate, in sync with the Fiddlesticks coming down, damage everywhere. You've got the Lissandra to lock people in place. It's a very strong wombo. And the Lulu, similar to the Karma, it's not as effective, I think, for what they're trying to have Chuck do, because really Lulu, you want to be sticking by somebody else. Karma's a bit more independent. But Lulu's should be safe against Darius. I actually have played that matchup quite often. Darius, you can't really threaten Darius, but he shouldn't be able to threaten you either. And assuming Chuck keeps his distance and such.
All you have to do is fall into that polymorph, and the Darius can't really do much, especially if he cannot auto you. But yeah, I don't love either of these comps. There's just I feel like a lot of things have to go right for both of them, right? Because I think there's a lot of squishies on both sides, right? Fiddle is relatively squishy, so is Lulu.
Yes,
obviously, Zaya and Sandra can have some kind of semblance of that. But on the other side, Ashe, Lux, and Seraphine are all very, very squishy. There is a good front line of Sejuani and Darius, but...
Yeah, I think that Verd is the word has the better comp here in theory. I think that given how we've been seeing people play tonight, I like Control Ward's chances more than I would if I was looking at this comp in solo queue. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. And it will be very interesting to see how these comps play out, right? Because I think there's a lot of more early game potential with just the nature of the Sejuani, with the ability to lock down champions a little bit easier than the Scion would. And if Blood maybe goes for, maybe tries to affect the map more, maybe look for some TPs bot instead of, burning that TP top, since if Chuck, right now he does have exhaust again, so if he does not go TP, I think we will need to see Blood affect the map more with his TP, because if he can get his bot lane ahead, or maybe just help that lane go at least even, that will help them in the late game much more, since if we saw how much AI Box can do when he gets ahead with Lemon, so it'll be very, very interesting to see the game state.
Another shakeup in the Summoner Spell game. Everything's basically the same on Control Ward's side, but we've got a teleport on the Lux and a heal now on the Ashe. So there's not a whole lot of CC protection if the Lissandra manages to get on top of them. So they best hope that they're able to keep that Lissandra down. Otherwise, that backline could be a lot more fragile than they're expecting.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's okay not to go that, because if you get CC'd by one, you will get CC'd by everyone, because they will immediately just jump on you. So I think it's fine not to go for the cleanse, since there's just too much CC in the gate. But
that's true.
Yeah, I think at the very end of the day, if I had to like maybe say how this is going to go, this is probably just going to come down to execution. Yes. I've said that a lot, but I think these comps are very, very dependent on how they're played out, because it's not just like it's just you can just run in there front to back and just win. You need to be very, very careful about who is where. You need to make sure you set up the fiddle engage, make sure that all of your champions are where they need to be in position so very well. So we saw that both teams had good moments, with Versus the Word having some great comeback moments, as well as just Team Control Wards, had some really just great outscales and outplays. So the question will be, will we see more of the same, or will we see more of a maybe kind of set out game plan, or might just get to some Fiesta stage? Who knows?
Hey, we're always down for the Fiestas here. Hey, okay, so they're just a standard 5 point. Holy, I definitely missed how that happened, but Seji took a solid chunk.
Yeah, just a little bit. But she'll be able to. I believe she threw down a ward, was able to reset. So there will just be, normal start does have the retro, just as Fiddle has his little effigy. But yeah, 5 point start. No, not much done really besides the ward in that pixel bush. So
I mean, I'm also going to take a knock at the choice of starting item for Chuck here. So the whole reason that generally you go Corrupting Pot is if you're expecting to take a decent amount of even trades and you want to be able to top yourself off. That Darius should not be ever hitting the Lulu. If the Darius is hitting the Lulu, then the fact that you have Corrupting Pot as opposed to a Doran's giving you extra HP is probably going to mean that you're dead. So I personally am not a big fan of that of that choice.
And I will also make to note, they leash the Fiddlesticks, so this Fiddle does not know how to leash on Fiddlesticks. You can leash 2 camps without any help, so I'm going to give you a -1 for that. But honestly, with how we saw Chuck play the last game, I don't hate it, simply because if I'm going to, let's do how this lane goes, I'm assuming Chuck is going to take a lot of damage and burn a lot of mana, so I don't hate it for that reason, but I would probably agree with you that he probably shouldn't need to go Corrupting if he plays this lane correctly.
Correct. I would also add that, yeah, I first, wait, did he go Biscuits as his, oh my gosh, Chuck!
Ooh, oh, well.
Chuck!
Yeah,
okay, that was the right play, that was the right play.
Yeah.
But, okay, now we know why he went Biscuits, okay,
yeah, so I guess
that should not be required. And you're losing out by not being able to take Revitalize, which is normally very strong on Lulu.
Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah, it's kind of just weird from him, but just going back, yeah, we're just gonna say whatever. Chuck is going to maybe not die, and it's fine at the end of the day, right? Because Lulu will have value at the late game regardless. But that is a little bit less to me, so whatever. we will get into the game to see the bot lane just obviously farming it out. We do have the cleanse there onto AI blocks in case you do have the ult from both of his opponents in the Ash Arrow and Seraphine Encore. So,
yep. And let's be completely honest. That that is going to be a very difficult what do you call it? Xayah to kill. He has a lot of very powerful. Oh, got a bit of a fight breakdown here.
Yeah, TJ will be going into Swordmaster, but control is there, and with Verd roaming, they probably don't want to go onto this, especially with Blood roaming down. So TJ will just scare them off as he does want to get control of the river for the Scuttle. And with Blood there, they will have full prio. So they will just, get a little bit of a skirmish here in the early game.
Yep, and we've got a very, very minor. Ooh, sneaky.
Yeah, nice little dodge there. We'll dodge the Sejuani engage and the Lux root. So nice there. Swordmaster was there to support just in case, but also the spells available.
This is putting the fiddle a little bit behind.
Yeah, getting double crapped as TJ just runs immediately there to the bot river. So he is off to a really, really good start.
Sorry, not TJ. Swordmaster a little bit behind.
Oh yeah. Swordmaster behind, but should be fine though. Fiddle will be able to eventually catch it back up as long as he makes sure he gets the crabs moving forward. But CS is much more even than it was before. Chuck actually has more CS, but that's probably because Blood had to roam down to protect. Control, actually very, very low HP. I'm assuming he got caught by a root and had a lot of damage there coming out from Verd. So he will have to get this earlier reset off there as Sejuani is backing as well. But right now, gold is just pretty much dead even with CS.
Yep. Chuck at this point building up a very big wave. Oh,
yeah,
this is I've wanted to try top Lulu again. So for the non-Lulu aficionados in the crowd, there was a change made in the preseason to Lulu. It used to be that your Q did full damage to the first target and then 80% reduced damage to everything after it. And they implemented that because back in the old days, solo lane Lulu was an incredibly toxic presence. Arguably still an incredibly toxic presence, but whatever. And the reason and the idea was that they wanted to make it really hard for her to farm. They changed that in the preseason, so it's now you do 80%, or it's either 80 or 70% less damage to minions at all points, but there's now no longer that reduction. And so that means that it becomes you're still not really able to farm minions, but it's become a lot easier for you to harass people through the wave because there's no longer a damage reduction if you hit a minion first.
And that's exactly what we're seeing, right? We saw how low HP Blood got. He's forced to reset. He will actually burn the TP as well, so Chuck will be very, very happy about that. And I don't really like Blood TP in there. Well, Blood trying to go.
Well, he might be able to run him down.
Chuck has level 6. He has all the Thunder spells, so he will be fine to get out. Blood will probably take too much damage here to actually consider going in. But actually, look at the 6 stacks. It actually does get level 6. Goes to the flash kill.
No, Chuck, you clown!
Oh, actually, he barely. I think he was like less than 100 HP with that ult coming through, but he will burn the flash and he will burn the ult. He will stay alive. Trade for flash. So a little bit of a interesting fight there. As now TJ is looking for the invade. Control is here though. TJ will have to be careful before he gets engaged upon. As Swordmaster now, but Blood can also roam down. Control is here, so this could be just the death of TJ. As actually Swordmaster is very, very low HP. Ignite does come down. TJ will have to be running away. Lux ult does not land, as I believe Swordmaster flashed away from that. Blood cannot get there in time, but he is staying around, so Control will have to be a little bit careful. But yeah, clean kill there, clean 2v2, or sorry, 2v1, as there's a great dodge there from Swordmaster, but there's the last Summer supposed to burn there as well.
Yeah, and it was smart by Fiddle to go around that way to stop the Seji from running just immediately to the blast cone. Good play there. We're seeing a decent-sized CS lead emerge in the bot lane, which should be concerning in all honesty, because in favor of AI Box, and that should not be the case right now. The Braum should not be able to protect Box from this Seraphine and Ash poke. Very oppressive poke early on, and the fact that they're still able to outfarm the Ash is that's worrisome, because now they're going to get another wave, they're going to recall, and they're going to be up a solid chunk.
Even though this is a very oppressive lane in terms of poke, I think just the nature of the champion of Braum with how much damage you can mitigate with his shield, especially if either of these members are too far up, Braum can just, CC you for so long and you just can't get away in time. So I think this is a pretty natural CS disadvantage since, especially if the Braum does CC you, the Xayah can CC you just right after, right? So they have to play this run, have to play this safe, because eventually they will be doing enough damage to where they can start to be the harasser. So I think it's fine. They're just down about 15 CS. Could be worse.
This is a rare instance where Blood actually is down a level on Chuck, and it's largely because of this giant wave. He's still slightly leading in CS, but that's pretty substantial. And you're also seeing that Blood is having to build a lot of MR early. It's delaying the rest of what I imagine would be a more balanced build from a tank perspective.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went tank as well, since he has a lot of damage that can come through behind him, right? The Lux can do a lot of damage, just like the Ashe. And if this Seraphine does build more damage, she will be doing a lot. But that's a great dodge there. Nice fancy feat. Chuck will miss that Sedge 1R. Blood does get a great hook in, but unfortunately with all that CC coming through, will not be able to escape as Blood will get that kill. And it is a nice 2-for-1 for Where's the Word. Q will land there. Ultimate will follow up, but unfortunately that is not enough damage there to take down control. We'll be able to clear that ward out as Swordmaster is around. There is no vision, but Verd will actually walk up to that top jungle. Maybe just to help out his jungler who is on the Rift Herald right now as Blood is roaming down. Verd will have to be careful. He does land a great route there on the Swordmaster, but this will more than not, or all than most, some kind of phrase I'm trying to figure out. Secure the Rift Herald there for Where's the Word.
Yep. Good roam and good gank by TJ. Need to be very cautious, or Chuck needs to be very cautious when he's pushing up there, just to make sure that that doesn't happen. Yeah, otherwise it's largely settling in. There's a slight gold lead in mid lane, but more importantly, the first blood gold likely giving Lissandra a solid advantage. We've got this Fiddlesticks roaming over. Swordmaster loves his Fiddlesticks. He's very good at these lane ganks, and we're very likely to see one of those coming through in the near future. What AI Box needs to be careful of is... Oh, did they spot him going in?
I don't think they...
no! What on earth?
On our side, I'm not it didn't look like they did, but I think they might have just barely caught him.
Yeah, so what a lot of people forget about is when you are in a bush and you auto attack, you reveal the contents of that bush to the enemy team. Uh-oh.
AI Box actually burned Cleanse. I'm not sure if he thought it was healed by accident.
No, I think he got Ashe ulted.
Ah, okay, so I guess Ashe ulted actually has to burn the ultimate as well to keep himself alive. Flashes away there from the ult, but unfortunately we'll be able to pick it up as Control now for the next one to fall. As it is a 4v2 in the pit. Actually, TJ will almost be falling under Control. Tried to take him out just in time. Yeah, burns the flash, does not get the kill, but this means this is Infernal Dragon for Where's the Word, and that is a great almost wipe, yeah. I think they also popped the Rift Herald mid, so there's also going to be a lot of plays there to Verge, and this is a really, really bad early game here for Team Control Wards.
Yeah, that was an absolutely rough situation. The big problem here is that the only real tank for the team is this Braum, and so in that scenario, I think that they ended up Ashe ulting the AI Box in the pit, and as a result of that, he ended up tanking a ton of the dragon spit while Braum went out to try to delay the engage. Also, the big thing there, 2 kills onto the Lux, that will even out that what had been a slight lead for Lissandra. And Verd is definitely not going quietly here. He definitely wants to make sure that he's making his presence known. Yeah,
definitely. And
so we also are looking at, as production called out, want to talk about this Lulu build. It's very clear that he's trying to go for the Moonstone Renewer, Staff of Flowing Water. I guess he just really wants to make that happen again. I would go so far as to say that when you are in lane as Lulu, particularly against a Darius and a jungler who can CC you, you want to be building the Kindle Gem first on that, not the Vandal Glass Mirror, or whatever it's called. It's like your so production's saying Ludens for wave clear. I actually disagree with that. It's if you're expecting to deal damage on the Lulu, yes. Frankly speaking, this Lulu is not going to deal damage, and you don't want to be investing that much gold into this. Plus, it's just not the damage that Lulu can dish out is just not particularly worth it, in my opinion.
And there's a flash engage there, but actually the Sejuani is here to respond. We do have the TP in there for Blood. Blood is very, very low HP. Lissandra will be able to take down the Lux and get the shutdown just before, but Blood is here, and we'll get the execute there onto Swordmaster as control. Actually gets out a good ultimate. Not sure if he can kill TJ in time, but Blood perfectly times the Q. Does not get the kill with this ult, but he will get that double kill there onto Lissandra. So that is a nice TP engage, as Chuck, I think, tried to walk down, but unfortunately, Lulu is not fast enough. But I would definitely agree with you in terms of the Lulu build. I don't think you need the damage onto the Lulu. You have more than enough with the Xayah, the Lissandra, and the Fiddle. Having the Moonstone plus the Staff just has so much just utility for your team. And that has not been nerfed yet with the recent patch. It has not come through. So I definitely like it. But
this is true. Production's pointing out it doesn't matter if you don't get to leave lane. Yes. However, in theory, you should eventually be able to leave lane. Either you'll hard shove the wave in long enough, or you just leave and let your tower fall. Either one works.
Blood now is going on here. Chuck does have flash and exhaust, so it should be fine. Does not actually choose to burn any of the two, as the hook will come in. Still has both. Will just ult himself, but yeah, that's probably just more than enough. Actually, does try to turn around. Maybe bait Blood back in, but
no. So that's the right play actually on Lulu. If you do get jumped like that, you'll probably take a lot of damage when you're retreating. But after you've actually gotten to the turret and put some distance between yourself, you absolutely should be like turning around and auto attacking the Darius as he retreats. You can actually stack up a decent amount of damage doing that.
Yeah, but I definitely would agree that. For the build, it could be interesting to see it go Ludens, but honestly, going whatever build you might have on the Lulu does not change the fact that your team got 4v4 there in the bot lane and got a pretty unfortunate loss, but Control with a huge solo kill there onto Verd. We see the Ignite burned. Probably just got a great ult and just, poked out Verd enough to get that solo kill, so definitely what this team needs if they want to get back to this game, since they are pretty far behind. This is the highest.
There's a bit of a tussle going down there in the...
Yeah, ooh, Ash Arrow just barely missed his Swordmaster, does not get the kill there. But Lemonilla will be trying to get the Xayah out. Also comes down there, but there's a great follow-up ult there as well from a Form Bully just as the cleanse comes through. So this will be a double kill for Sejuani, as WS will be picking up Lemonilla, and I assume he's picking up the Lissandra as well. So that is a great 4-4-1 on the bot side.
So I know that Swordmaster is kind of famous, infamous, whatever you want to call it on this Fiddlesticks. I'm not liking it thus far. It's very clear that Verd is the word knows how to play into it, knows how to abuse it early, and this is feeling like a very, very wasted early pick. Like, he has not been able to contest or deal with the Sejuani in the slightest. He has been shoved off all of his crabs. He has not been able to make ganks work. Just because, I mean, you're up against an Ashe, you're up against a Lux, you're up against a lot of people who can play back very far and who can have means of getting extra vision. So it's your tools for setting up these good Fiddlesticks ults are limited. I would have much rather seen him just play Zac. He's very good on Zac. It would have provided a good tank for this team. I think that the Fiddlesticks pick was a mistake.
And
we'll see if he proves me wrong
the backline too, right? Because if he gets onto any of those three backline champions, he could do so much and then allow Control to follow up. So honestly, I would have liked Zac too, because you're right. Team Versus the Word is playing so expertly around this Fiddlesticks. Fiddle has not had one good ultimate. He's had the Flash, and the only one that has worked out. And afterwards, they got 2v3'd. So it is, a very, very rough early game. AA Box and Lemonilla have been shut down here through all of the roaming from TJ and Verd, but they will have control of the pit, and they will be starting this dragon. And the Sejuani is nowhere near, so they will be picking this Ocean Dragon just in time. And we will have a Mountain Soul, so a good soul here for both of these teams, not the same as a Cloud Soul last time. So I think the biggest thing though is there is a 6k gold lead. This is the biggest lead we've had, I think, in this entire series. So this is a lot different to surmount than a 1 or 2k gold lead. and it might be very, very difficult for Team Control to do so.
Yeah, no, it's not the biggest. I think that there was an 8,000 gold lead earlier, but we're definitely getting close. And oh, Chuck, you need to just leave. You're not gonna, yeah.
Yeah, that tower is going down, so we will have to just give it up because he could potentially die, especially with this Seraphine in the wings, just there to support, just in case. But we will have the bot laners roaming up as they did take down that bot turret. But TJ maybe tried to look for that 1v1, but Lemonella stuck around with his support, or not with his AD carry. But
so this is the point in the game where it becomes a lot less fun to be top Lulu. As the enemy player starts to get more and more tanky, more and more durable, more and more high damage, you increasingly get into a position where they can just walk up to the turret and you are not able to effectively harass them or get them off the turret anymore. And especially, I don't know what Blood's secondary is, but if it's like Second Wind or something like that, he's got the double MR at this point. He has the Gore Drinker. He is no longer really at risk of this Lulu ever threatening him again, unless he basically just stands in place and eats autos.
yeah, and he's ahead in XP as well, so Chuck will be down there. As Swordmaster now is getting engaged upon there.
Can we also talk about the fact that he's 3 levels down? Holy
yeah, this is
crap.
This will be a 3v3 shortly, as we do have Devious and Blood there to support, but with AI Box walking up and a failed ultimate, that is pretty tough to watch, as this could just be a really bad fight for the side of Control Wards. But yeah, Swordmaster is just down so much XP, dying I think 3 times so far, has just put him so far behind. Plus he is down 30 CS, a couple camps, several camps actually. Sejuani 2-1 and 8. So yeah, this is going to be a very difficult game for them to come back into. Also,
Sejuani is actually out farming the Lissandra. This is a very farmed Sejuani.
Yes,
not
Sejuani has done a good job of invading when they took out Swordmaster. And obviously, he probably has done a great job just with his objective control, getting a bunch of gold that way. Since they did throw down that Rift Herald mid, got a ton of gold that way as well. So there's probably a lot of gold that we're not seeing there as well. But Airbox is doing his best to farm it out. He is still ahead in CS, but unfortunately he has died 2 times. So he is pretty far behind in gold, as they're just trying to pick up this red buff here, as we will have the third dragon here spawning in 2 minutes.
Yep. And as we're getting ready for that third dragon, it's an Earth Dragon, or Mountain Dragon, whatever you want to call it. I would highly recommend that CWS does not fight for this. Vert is the word is they're in top form. They do not hit. They have vision control of the area. They have lots of tools to start fights. This is not the fight you want, especially, I don't know if they realize how far down they are, but they are not in position to do anything about this.
Yeah, and they're not being in position to do anything for a long time, since this goal lead actually has been gotten a little bit lower. There is about just a 6k, or just under actually, barely 7k gold lead. They have been farming relatively well, but Blood will have the Herald, so could be looking to throw that down somewhere, as we do have Lemonella just around just in case for any potential engage. But yeah, this is a really tough game state. We've just have, constant invades, Blood and TJ just pushing up the vision, so they're quickly losing control of their jungle.
Yep. And as they lose control of their jungle, this is where all of these engages come in handy. With an Ashe ult that you can throw in. Oh my gosh, Blood.
Yeah,
are you a little loud there?
Right now is up alone, but we used to ping them the Baron right in response, so Blood will be immediately just get blown up, shut down. Oh no, it goes to Chuck. That is the last person who want that to go. Yeah, very suboptimal. But this is a very good response, right? All 5 were shown bots. That means you have to go to the Baron. Problem is, you do not have the damage, really. It is very slow.
They've got the damage, I think, because I don't think that. Yeah, no, they'll be done well in time.
Yeah, they were so far away that they will have enough damage, but it was a relatively slow Baron for them to get there. But Swordmaster will have to immediately flash once again. Actually, flashes just too late. He's actually been turning the ultimate down, so he'll be trying to get something down here. Ultimate does come down, does go into the Reform Bully. He will flash out. We will see Lissandra that go into the backside won't actually just go into the ultimate state, as Lemonella is very low HP. Xayah trying to do whatever she can with the help of Chuck, as Control now goes into the station. Great flash word from AI Box, but Blood is now back, so we'll have to run as Blood flashes in. Great Q there, as WS almost dies, but the healing from Reform Bullet just keeps him alive for so long. Triple kill goes over to Bloodbath and Beyond, and this game just absolutely gets out of control.
Yeah, this game is spiraling very, very badly for Control Wards. I feel like the story of this entire game with Swordmaster is trying too hard. I don't know if you've ever felt this in solo queue where your team's falling behind or you're falling behind and you just need to make plays. You need to make something happen. And what you often find is those plays get increasingly more and more tenuous. And sometimes that works out for you. Sometimes you get a lucky pick. But against a coordinated, solid team, what more often happens is you end up pulling your team into something that's not sustainable, or you just end up bleeding more gold. And I think that was that ult, once they had flashed and the Baron was gone, was an example of that. All right, so we got to pause here. A-Barn hopefully will be able to let us know what that is all about. While we're waiting here, what does CWS need to do to stabilize here? What does Verd does the word need to do to close this out?
Well, to be honest, I don't even know if there's anything that can do to stabilize. There is just looks like Reform Blood maybe just need to restart his client there. SC is the one to disconnect from the lobby, but I honestly don't. There needs to be a colossal blunder from Verd is the word if there is going to be any semblance to get back to this game. The heals from Seraphine, as well as the shields from Lux, and just the absolute tankiness of the Sejuani and the damage of the Darius is just too much. There's a 10k gold lead. They have the Baron. Just picked up the first Mountain Dragon. There's just too many tools, right? There has to be some kind of like just colossal int that they have to capitalize on for Control Wards, because unfortunately they're just too far behind. We have an 0-4 Fiddle. We have an 0-6 bot lane. And, you know, Control is doing the best he can, but unfortunately he's only doing so much, right? And Chuck can only do so much as well, right? He can only put out so many heals, so they just fell behind too far early, and I think that was the
this is sort of the limit also of wait, did Chuck go the heal cut first?
No, he finished
his second item looks like the heal cut item, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The noxious chem whatever. Yeah, that's interesting choice. Okay, we're back into the game at this point. Fox is in a tenuous position.
Fox is out alone, does not have flash, so he will have to just play this out as he actually will just die as Blood just gets the ult smash there. No, actually, I don't believe Sai even had ult, so she was just dead to rights, unfortunately, as his team was too far away for him to be saved. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the story of this game, unfortunately. As there's really not much that Team Control Wards can do. Basically, they can just have to just sit back and farm, but
and pray for a bad dive.
Yeah,
or a godly fiddle ult. But at this point, I don't even think the godly fiddle ult is an option. Nice, good guy Control is saving his partner there, but I just want to call out also that TJ is a higher level than Control at this point as the enemy jungler. I'm used to seeing that on Olaf's, Udyr's, the like on that, but I'm not quite as used to seeing it on a Sejuani. That's I was skeptical when I saw him pick the Sejuani. I thought, you know, like a carry jungler like him should really be on a carry like jungle champion. Yeah, no, he's certainly proving that you can carry on tanks. He can carry on tanks just fine.
Yeah, especially when you can, you know, just put your other laner behind so far. Since an 0-4 Fiddle is basically pretty useless, as that 3-level lead has been consistent since since Swordmaster has been level 9. But right now we have a 5-man bot. They're trying to push that in. Verebuff has run out.
And Verd is the word siege is just so strong here.
Yeah, and there's really nothing they can do because there's just not enough poke on the side of the Control Wards to do anything.
I was gonna say Fiddle. Good of Fiddle to not pull the trigger there. He would have died there very quickly.
Yeah, the last thing they need to do is engage, right? They have to let them come to them, and then try to get something back in response.
Oh no, Lemon!
There is too much healing. Lemon can jump out, should be fine, but the Seraphine heals that are going to come through are just going to be too much, right? We saw what happened at the Baron fight. Seraphine kept
Fiddle!
for so long as Fiddle does engage, only catches pushes out Verb. Unfortunately, there's just not enough follow-up as Lemonella now will be hooked in and will die. That will be a second one there going over to Verb as the ultimate will land onto Chuck as he will be doing a great ultimate there, and unfortunately we'll get the encore there and we'll get taunted to his death. But picks up a double kill now as TJ is not done, going on into AI box. Will only try to get out as he will be killed there slowly by Devious, and then we will have Control being the last one as Blood.
That will
look at the 8.
My guess is that that's game there. We're looking at what's the shortest death timer? Lemon and Swordmaster will be up, but Swordmaster doesn't have ult. Lemon and he are not going to be able to stop this push. Clean, decisive, dominant victory by Virtus the Word.
Yep, absolutely nothing the team of controllers could do, but just sit there and watch as their base gets destroyed, and that means we are going to a Game 3 as Virtus the Word pick up Game 2.
Yep. I'm gonna be interested to see the damage graph here. It was funny, like we commented on the comps beforehand, and I said, yeah, you know, if this were a solo queue and I didn't have like players attached to it, I would much rather be the Words comp than this. This was far beyond my best expectations, though. They absolutely ground that fiddle out of the game, and for what it was worth, Swordmaster lacked his customary. I can't even say that Swordmaster is a particularly patient player, but he was firing off those ultimates at very questionable times, and it just was not delivering the value that it needed to.
Yeah, and
Fiddle is a risky pick, and you can't win with ults like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say maybe a risky pick, but it's a very, very difficult pick to execute well. And I think you kind of mentioned yourself that he tried to force a lot. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And he forced to his detriment to where he got so far behind to where he couldn't do anything at all for the rest of the game. And
I don't want to harp on Swordmaster completely here because a lot of it was TJ. TJ was absolutely... he bullied him. He bullied him out of his jungle. We got a reform bully. We got a new bully here with TJ. There's a... He was by far the MVP of that game for Virtus the Word. Just absolutely dominant performance.
Yeah, and it was the whole entire team, right? They expertly played the map. They had 4 people come bot a lot to shut down the bot lane of AI Box and Lemonilla, and it obviously showed that Blood could just, he easily would win lane to whatever Chuck will play just because of nature. And it was just a full dominant game. So we will be going to a Game 3, so stick around, and you won't want to miss to see if Team Virtus the Word will be able to stop the playoff push, or if Control Words will be able to try to have a last final effort. So we'll see you shortly.
What you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons and tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly. And now you're playing with matches, come out of the ashes underneath you. A million voices in the crowd, they're screaming, stop now. Well, let them swallow the pride, you're turning the tide to true believers. Got them in the palm of your hand, you're playing God now. What you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons and tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly.
Welcome back, everyone, to the third and final match between Team.
Verd is the word,
team?
and Team Control Wards.
Yep, forgot what they were. I was going to say. I think I was going to say. I thought of CWS and I thought of Clown. So, well, maybe that's what last game was.
Control is the word.
unfortunately-
Control is the wait. Control is the word, and Verd's wards. We'll go with
Right.
that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we did watch a very, very just dominant game there from the side of Team Ver's the word. They won every single lane. They played the map very, very well. Shut down AI Box, Lemonilla.
And
we
very
saw
critically
that, yeah,
shut down Swordmaster.
exactly. And Verd tried to do, not Verd, I apologize. Control tried to do all that he could in the mid lane. You know, he was doing very, very well on the Lissandra, but unfortunately, his team was just too far around behind him. And with a few bad fights, that just unfortunately got too far behind. It was just an insurmountable lead.
Yeah, without a doubt. Looking ahead, some of the changes I think that Control Wards and Ver's the word might want to consider. Control Wards, I think that you either need to prioritize giving a hard carry to Control, or you need to prioritize getting both Chuck and Lemon the champions that they want. Like, I would not be upset to see a Lulu Karma early pick. That worked out just fine for them, and it would put them both on comfort. If you're not going to do that, though, you definitely need to get control on something a little harder of a carry than Lissandra, because you're putting a lot of weight on AI Box's back there. Conversely, I think for Verd is the word, it might actually be worth your while to target out those two support picks, just because it would force Chuck onto a more traditional top laner. And frankly speaking, Blood has already shown that in a traditional contest of top laners, it's not even close. Like, Blood will absolutely bowl them over.
Right. And honestly, I would be interested to see if Team Control Wards maybe thinks that, hey, you know, it was maybe just not the best comp. Phil 6 maybe just doesn't work. Let's try to do something similar to Game 1, since it worked so well. And if we have something similar, maybe that works too. Or maybe they say, hey, you know, we gave it a shot. It worked once. Let's just go back to, you know, a normal standard. Who knows, though? As we will have the bans coming through, we have the same Zillion Udyr, but this time, actually, the Karma will be taken away. As
Verd is the word read my
the-
mind.
Yep, Karma, Sivir, and the LeBlanc. So same bans as Game 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw...
No. Game 2, they took Kai'Sa off the board. So
oh, right. That's
yeah,
right.
they brought the Karma ban up because I think that they recognized that it's okay to let Lulu through, because you're either weakening Chuck or you're weakening Lemon by forcing one of them off that champion.
Right. And so actually, they will ban Darius third. I do like that. I don't think you should give Blood Darius, even though maybe he will have, a bunch of other picks in his pocket. I think just taking that champion away might just be better in general for maybe what Chuck wants to play. But that means that will be a first pick Kai'Sa again. Maybe obviously coming through for the second game, they didn't want them to prio the Kai'Sa as well. But that means we will have another Lulu lane. So the question will be, is this going to be a support Lulu again, or will we be seeing that go back top?
Honestly, I think it should be a support Lulu. You, at a certain point, you need to just tell Chuck, play Shen. Oh, we're going back to comfort across the board. This is the jungler I wish that he would have picked last game. Swordmaster in potentially the last game of the regular season, going back to his favorite, his beloved Zac. They found so much success on this champion for his ability to start fights, to be that go button. I like to see him back on what brought him to this point, or like what got him his fame. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he brings.
Yeah, I definitely like that Zac pick, right? I think Zac can provide so much utility, especially when you pick two champions like Kai'Sa and Seraphine that you want to dive. But that means TJ will be going onto a nice carry there onto the Kindred.
Yeah, shake up here. TJ had been like on tank duty today, very uncharacteristically, and that certainly ended. Ooh, and somebody likes Tranimal's suggestion, getting the Victor for control, putting him on his best champion. That's exactly what we want. We're seeing like just comfort across the board here for what it's worth. Box obviously we haven't seen what he's got, but.
And I think it's not only a comfort champion. That's a very high priority champion, right? In terms of pressure that you can put out and just good champion in general, right? Victor is such an impressive champion in lane and in those late game stages of, when he gets all those items, he can just output so much damage. So I really like the Victor. It's obviously been banned away from him for 2 games in a row, so they will not let that go through for the game 3. But second round of bans come through. We will have the Aatrox taken away from Blood. We do have the Tristana taken away there from AI Box. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another top lane ban here, maybe a Wukong, maybe even a Set, because there has been some decent prio in TCL. Maybe they want to take away something else from Blood as well. I know he just likes to play volley, but that will be
personally, I would take away the Viger.
Vigar
I would take away the Viger from Verd as the word, or from Verd, but
honestly, I wouldn't hate leaving that up, especially if you're playing something like Zac. If you get one more champion that can go in, especially if you can, put the Victor Trap or the ultimate down over, that could be a lot of damage that you can just, lock onto someone. So if they get maybe one more CC champ, one more tank,
it's mostly for his ability to shut out Zac, and like that. They are going to live and die by Swordmaster's engages here, and the ability to just throw up the Viger cage and stuff like an enormous, give an enormous zone of control. I don't like the fact they're leaving that up.
Ooh, the Vayne. I don't know if I like that. Simply because Vayne normally is really good into tanks, and there's no tank. And she is not the best at really escaping the potential dive of not only the Kai'Sa and the Seraphine CC, but now the Shen. So I feel like...
Predicting a Viger here. Predicting a Viger. Because this is incredibly similar to the comp that they ran against... Actually, this is almost identical to the comp that they ran against Control Wards last time. The only difference is that they had Ashe then. Well, it was Ashe and Thresh instead of Seraphine Kai'Sa. But the rest of it would be pretty solid. And, yep, what I tell you, they banned out a bunch of Blood's champion pools. And I actually don't like the Darius ban against Blood. Because... Darius, I actually think, is one of the least useful champions that Blood plays. He's very good at it, and he can beat somebody down. But frankly speaking, against somebody like Chuck, all of your champions are going to be pretty good into him. I also don't know about Cho'Gath into Darius. Somebody with more top lane expertise, help me out here. But
it's Shen, I believe that's favored a little bit.
Oh shoot! It's Shen, not Darius. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it wasn't the Darius, Darius will just hard win that. But Shen is really, really good simply because he can be really good at not only doing damage, but his W can stop the Cho'Gath E. So that's going to be really, really good. Plus, Shen is really good because he can affect the map so much. And Cho'Gath
on the flip side of that, though, Cho'Gath has a decent number of tools for interrupting Shen. So
Yeah.
at least in theory, like that works to your favor, and you're gonna get in a straight up farm lane, like that works to Chuck's favor, frankly. So long as he doesn't just get picked on by this Kindred, but
And to be fair, that they did need another tank, right? They have a lot of high damage champions that they need to protect.
yeah,
So Cho'Gath being a very, very top tier tank, not only for the ult that you can stack up with eating monsters, but because of all the abilities that he can either silence with his W, or he can get the knockup with the Qs. But going back, I really hate the Vayne. I think that Vayne is just out of place. I think there could.
So the one reason I'm not as opposed to the Vayne is that it's a very good duelist, and frankly speaking, a good duelist into a Kai'Sa is a nice thing to have, particularly because the Kai'Sa is probably going to be coming in with a Shen. If anybody in this group has the mechanics to take Vayne and pull it off and like maneuver something out of it, it's honestly probably Box. And with a Lulu backing it, late game Lulu Vayne is scary. If they can get to late game, I think that potentially they could 2v5. That
Maybe.
said, I think that it would have been a more straightforward and simpler comp if he had just gone Jinx.
Jinx or even MF, right? Because
MF with Lulu I don't care for.
Okay.
'Cause
Actually,
so
yeah,
much of
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Jinx would have been a lot better. But I do definitely agree for the simple fact of Vayne is so short range, right? You have to walk up pretty close.
Yeah, and
do a lot of damage, right?
Viger's going to abuse that. I still contend that you should have left the Aatrox open and banned the Viger. You know that Verd plays it. You know how much it's going to disrupt this comp. And frankly speaking, without Zillion to back him up and make him monstrous, I don't think Aatrox is as scary. Clearly, Chuck still has some bad memories of going up against Blood's Aatrox, but I think that this was unnecessary. And I'm going to be to go back to my point about the Darius ban. I actually think that Blood likes to play Darius a lot and likes to pick him when he's open. I think that in many cases his other champions are better picks, and he prioritizes the Darius where he doesn't need to. So I think they should have left Darius up to potentially bait it, because frankly speaking, there's plenty of stuff that Chuck can play that in theory he can just hide under the turret and be fine. You have Lulu, Lemon on Lulu, you have control on Victor. You can keep that Darius down. You can keep him suppressed. You can keep him locked out. I think that getting rid of the Darius allows Blood to venture out into these other picks that are more useful. And I think that there are other ways you could have weakened this Verd the word comp. For what it's worth, yeah. Sorry, go. I don't mean to blather on.
Yeah, oh, you're fine. So what I was going to say is, I don't know if I would hate keeping the Veigar up simply because of the dive of the team, right? You have the Zac and the Cho'Gath that can shut down that Veigar. Plus, with the tankiness of the Cho'Gath, he won't be doing too bad, especially since if you have the Victor the follow-up. And especially since that Vayne will want to go in to where she can just easily get caged, easily get, just blown up by the Kindred, or she can just get permanent CC'd from the Seraphine and the Shen. So that I really hate that Vayne for that reason, and I would much rather see like a Jinx or something that can keep a little bit long range that could just do very, very well, especially with the Jinx buffs. So I hate that, but I also I think it's just a very, very strong comp on the side of Team Word. And I might agree with you on the fact of Blood probably might like to play Darius, and that isn't really like a team champion. It's more of like your individual champion carriness, since like a Shen or an Aatrox has much more team value with the amount that you can go in and just like affect the team fights, as well as just the heals that Aatrox has, as well as the map affecting that you can have on Shen. So I guess I wouldn't hate to see Blood put on something like Alexis.
Who is throwing out all these pings? I'm so confused.
They are they're pinging on the blue side of the map, so I'm not sure if that's one or the other, but that could just be just fun pings early, But we will have just a 5-point standard setup as Control and Frodo just dancing in the mid lane. Verd with a cringe damage. You're just having fun in the mid lane. Don't be dancing.
Hey, Control, you goon. The heck?
Yeah, he will throw out the mastery flash and a few.
No.
Emotes, but
They were doing a dance contest and Bird landed poke, or sorry, Control landed poke. What a loser!
yeah, we like to have
Very
there's
disappointing.
no honor, no respect in TCL on either of these players. But
I
if I had-
guess not.
if we do want to make some pre-game predictions, though, I'll let you make the first one. Who you think is going to?
I think
take
Control
the
Wards
series.
wins it. I think Control Wards
Really?
wins it. Yep. I think
Interesting.
that Swordmaster, even if he falls behind, his Zac, he is able to like always find the little fights that I look at and I think there's no freaking way that works. And he always proves me wrong. He is the go button his team needs. I think that Control on Victor is a very powerful weapon, and I think that Lulu Vayne, even though I know you're not a big fan of the Vayne, but it's if it gets to late game, that's going to be scary, and I think that that AI box can make this work.
I'm actually in the favor of Ver's words because I think they just have a better comp, right? I think the Kaisa obviously really good AD carry paired with the healing and the safety there of the Seraphine. Verd obviously can just play a safe scaling Veigar, can do so much. And obviously we know how good TJ is on Kindred, as well as the prio that we have seen Shen have in a TCL with just how much he can affect the map. So I just love their comp so much more. I would agree that you could see the Vayne and Lulu scale very, very, very hard, and just the Vayne can just hyper carry. I don't know if that's going to come to that stage, just simply because of all the tools that Verizon had to shut that down. But who knows? We have seen crazier things in TCL. So the question is, what are we going to do?
The biggest thing that we need to watch out for is Chuck. What are you doing?
Chuck trying to get level 3 prio, maybe trying to clear the way. So
no, he needs to get out of here.
He does have vision for when Kindred is coming, but unfortunately,
yeah, and it's going to matter not a whit when Kindred freaking. Oh, for Pete's sake!
Yeah, unfortunately,
Chuck, what on earth?
Yeah, too far ahead. Unfortunately, does not matter when the Shen is so close to that he can just taunt you, but he will burn the flash to his death. So that is a nice early kill, kind of a disrespect there from Chuck, not really thinking that the jungler could be right there.
He's only been hard focused this entire game, like this entire series. I can't imagine why he thought that the jungler wouldn't be coming top immediately.
Yeah, especially when you are that far up and not respecting a potential gank. So
yeah, and Kindred's just going to loop back top again, and when there's a large wave in position, Cho'Gath needs to potentially give this up. Like,
maybe not even give it up.
They can't dive him. Like, he's low, and this is a gigantic wave. The only thing that's potentially going to he's been able to keep it out of turrets, so that's the only thing that's really working in his favor here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chuck has too many tools to stop a dive, because if he gets one knockup or one silence, that could be pretty bad. But Swordmaster is waiting around here mid in case maybe Victor lands a good trap. Maybe look for a decent dive, but could you maybe just decide to steal these chickens away? We'll put on that deep ward, but yeah, a little bit of a rough start. I think maybe Ver's the word has figured out that their win con could definitely be just shutting down Chuck, since we've seen how he has great potential to either allow his team to win through enabling them, maybe not through carrying them, but he definitely can be a detriment to his team with how much he can make some questionable plays.
Yeah, on the other hand, though, Victor getting off to a decent, a small but respectable CS lead in the mid lane here. It'll be interesting to see how much he is able to keep the Veigar from farming that Q. He's already like pressuring him off of the waves pretty effectively. He's got the level advantage. I don't know. I'm interested here. Oh, yep. So he's they've tied that up now, but that advantage is getting bigger and bigger. Interestingly, yeah. Veigar did not choose to teleport back to lane, whereas Victor did, and I think that's what allowed him to sort of freeze that wave and get that that large CS lead.
Yeah, and in this game, I'm honestly hoping for good TPs, right? I don't think I've ever seen a good TP this series. Now, that's mostly just because there hasn't been that many TPs. And the only TP that has been on anyone was been Blood. He's had the only TP. Now we have 4 TPs.
The Lux had it last game, but it just didn't end up mattering.
Yeah. No one has used an effective TP to either stop a gank
Holy
or
moly,
help
Bird,
change a gank.
you're living dangerously here.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Victor is very, very oppressive, right? That Q can do so much damage and is so long range that Bird cannot really step up too far.
Kindred heading top again.
Yep, Shogath is too far up,
Shogath!
and there is nothing he can do. No flash, no abilities to get away. He's just going to die again, and that is, yeah, this could just be a start to a snowball for Team Bird is the word. But I guess they will take the top scuttle in response, so Swordmasters are not going to fall too far behind. But, oh! Actually, production is telling us that that was the Mark scuttle, so actually that was a very, very good scuttle take. As Swordmaster does get a great Q, unfortunately Control is just too far away to follow up, so not sure.
It burned the flash, though, from
yeah.
That's going to be very big.
So good job on that. We would hope to see Sword return in the next 5 minutes to try to punish that. Vert will have to play very, very careful in response, but yeah, Chuck is really not playing this well too far. He's not really respecting the fact that he is the target, as now Swordmaster's bot could look for a great engage as he is charging it up. Actually, there's very, very far ahead, as actually doesn't land on anything, misses all his abilities. We'll get the flash away from the Seraphine, as we do have Kindred here, so they will have to run away. Shed actually is ulting in, and Buster
it wasn't enough level. I think he thought that Devious was level 6. If he was, that would have been a really clean play. But
yeah, but unfortunately, this is really, really good for Team Control Wards. We do see Blood burn the TP and the ult there, and does actually burn the flash too.
They don't need
Swordmaster
to go in
will flash away very, very well.
Back off, man.
Yep. Sword just needs to give that up. They do not have to pry it because they don't have the members, since they need to get away. So that's fine to just give that up early. Only one dragon. Ocean Dragon would be nice to have, obviously, but it's fine. But Chuck now just getting traded out here, since Blood will now have basically the power for the rest of the game because of Chuck's little blunders.
So interestingly, I mean, we've been bagging on Chuck a little bit here, but he actually is keeping it even in CS, despite 2 deaths. Okay. Chuck, back off. What? There's nothing that, I understand he's trying to shove it under, but it's like, look at he's standing right up here. It's like you have no mana. If the Kindred comes, you die. There's no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He is kind of playing it a little silly, but I would agree that even though Chuck he has kept it even, it's simply because he has Blood has actually probably left the lane just because he maybe had the early prio and then Blood couldn't. Chen's wave clear is very, very bad. So Blood doesn't have the easiest job of pushing that wave in to deny too much CS, so even though he has, died twice, I guess it's decent that he's kept up even CS, but I think it's a little bit worse that he has died twice. But heading into the 9th minute of the game, there's a nice cage there. Bird looking for a good poke, but can only do so much to control there, as we'll be able to walk out as Kindred is actually invading topside, is here onto the...
Oh, we gotta fight!
Yeah, Stormmaster is bot side, does land the E, and he will actually engage there on to Reform Bully, but unfortunately there's not enough there. And we did a great cleanse, and will be Reform Bully falling here very, very shortly. A nice 1-for-0 there as Devious.
That is definitely what the Vayne wanted.
Yeah, there's a really, really good start to getting that Vayne up to the carry stages. We will have TJ, though, stealing most of the top side of the way here from Swordmaster, since he knows that there is just no ability for Swordmaster to stop that, as Chuck now has to play very, very careful, since this could be a potential dive, since Kindred does have R, so it could protect there and play the edges with the CC lock for Blood, but with the wave push so far, it might not be the best opportunity, as Blood will not Blood. TJ will look to go to the Rift Herald.
Yep. And we're seeing... The thing that we need to keep in mind here for this game is that the pressure is definitely on for Team Control Wards. This is their last game if they lose. There's no gimmies, there's no mulligans. If they don't win this game, that's they go home. Like they're out of playoff contention. Even if they win, as you brought up earlier, it's still not. They're still not out of the woods. They still need to get a little lucky with Team Coinflip, potentially making mistakes. But it's they at least aren't dead in the water yet. Yeah,
definitely. We do see the trap placed down there, but actually TJ is the one. TJ is the one who will be able to take down.
What on earth?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
that was uncharacteristic.
Yep, edge of the cage catches control. Unfortunately, does not have enough life to get out. He will have to burn the flash, but unfortunately that will be to his death. So this will be a place for Hero down mid. I don't think he'll be able to get the whole entire tower, but TJ actually will get a decent engage, and he actually... Oh, that's a great ultimate there. Swordmaster tried his best, but unfortunately he might be the one to fall, but TP there from Chuck will protect Swordmaster as he will be able to stop any potential push. Actually,
wait, no! He did it too early!
Oh, Chuck kind of threw that death on his teammate. Goes bad to worse for him. 3 in a row now, mistakes
He
for
also
him.
he also ended up teleporting to the rearmost one, so he needed to be at the front so he could have immediately come off that teleport and threaten.
Yeah,
that was unfortunate.
This was
Chuck TPs.
Yeah, well, I guess, you know, he did try to use it effectively this 1v1 seat, but unfortunately, Chuck is doing Chuck things to no one's surprise.
I don't want to be too hard.
Oh, no!
That feast top was questionable.
Oh, God, it just gets bad to worse. I don't want just pan away from him. Don't ever go back top lane. We've seen all we need to see. Pack it up, boys.
Gosh,
it's done.
that's rough.
It's done.
Oh, get out of here, production. What are you doing?
Oh, God, Chuck. Yeah, that is, this might just be the story of the Control Words team where Chuck is they live or die by Chuck, unfortunately. And today they die. So sad.
Not yet. We're not out of this yet. They're not out of this yet.
Well, just have a great roam. The flash there from Bird will catch control in the bush. It actually burns the TP for some reason. Not sure why he thought he would have lived, but yeah, I'm not sure if the tilt might be getting to the team, or if they're just making all these mistakes.
The pressure. Oh my! So they picked up Victor. They picked up Victor. Okay then.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Or actually, well, Victor died mid lane. Yeah, but in response, Swordmaster drove onto the bot lane and picked up the Seraphine. But this will be the Shen ultimate in. Actually, it might be into their death. Is this a 2v4? Actually, a 2v3 not here with Devious, but that's a great engage there. We see the cleanse there coming out. Bloodbath has to be very, very careful. We should be able to fall here as long as there are a few more autos there. Lemonilla has to back away from the fight. As now we have Burke. He actually gets
Bird with the
catches there. AI box to Swordmaster. Swordmaster will be the first one to fall. Is too close to the fight. Lemonilla is very, very low. We'll have to back off.
Lulu.
And that fight looked very, very good at first for Control Words, but unfortunately, Shadow Ultimate comes through. TP there from Bird, and unfortunately, there's nothing they could really do. Not enough CC there to catch up any member of Team Bird the Word. So right now, it is a 2k gold lead. Not too terrible. Could not be the worst to climb back from, but they do have 2 dragons, so there is a little bit of a additional lead through that. Yep. The one shining light is the Vayne. Vayne is 2-0, and Lemonilla is 0-1. Hasn't died. Bot lane is doing well. They're ahead in CS, but every other lane is 0-2. So there is one shining light. So the question is, can the Vayne and the Lulu carry this game?
Yes. The answer to that is yes. Will they is the better question. And the 4-0...
It's a great engage there from the Zac. Does not actually land the Q because Vern has a great stopwatch there, but unfortunately the ult with the cage will probably be to his death, as we do see the blood TPing in, but the Zac ult will be able to keep him alive for just so very long. Actually, Lemonella is here. Actually doesn't burn the ult to keep his member alive for some reason. Not sure if he thought that he was just dead.
I think that he thought they were going to turn on to control. And yeah, I can sense that.
Oh,
yeah, it's possible also that they thought that Cassidy was up. Yeah, he needs to be careful on the return though. Like, there's a lot of potential for mischief.
Yeah, Control will just try to keep that ward safe, but unfortunately it doesn't.
No, they're posturing for a fight. They do not win this fight.
Yeah, 100% don't. And there's just been so many mistakes in this early game, and unfortunately they are not playing a comp that is willing to let them make that many. Right? The last comp, they could fall pretty far behind since they made some good plays early, and they had a comp that scaled so incredibly well. Now they don't really have that comp to a certain extent. They need to have some good advantages built for them to be able to build off of. But Reform Bully, I think, with another
Reform Bully.
Yeah, another issue.
Having some rough internet, it looks like.
Yeah, obviously the snowstorms recently have not been kind to the internet infrastructure of our United States. So
Yeah.
he'll have to DC. Hopefully, he can get back shortly. But yeah, can the Vayne and the Lulu carry? I think so. They're playing really well. They're playing with their jungle as much as possible. Swordmaster is trying to help the only lane that's ahead, and I
Yes.
assume the rest of the lanes are trying to do their best to mitigate their losses, right, and try to stun the bleed.
Yeah.
But-
I would be interested. Production, can you switch to gold right now, or does is that frozen? Okay, so let's take a look. Actually, the mid lane, despite the 2 deaths on Victor, is actually going pretty even. Jungle obviously is an enormous gap in TJ's favor. Top lane is a small lead, but not anything insurmountable, especially not given like the 2 kills that you have on the Shen. Like, you would have expected it to be considerably more, but that's about it. And the bot lane, critically, we've got a solid lead for this Vayne.
Yeah, so we will have Verd taking down that first turret there in the mid lane. We do have Swordmaster sitting around here in the bottom jungle in case they walk up too far. But yeah, at this point, there's only a 3k gold lead, so not too bad of a lead to surmount. We'll have Swordmaster here sitting in the back bush. He has not been spotted 100%. So what they should do is let that wave push. Hopefully look for a good engage as Davis could be looking to go up here, but
Did that?
No, W just goes through. I'm not sure if it gave vision though of
It
Swordmaster,
certainly looked like it from spectator.
Yeah, but they will actually just back off regardless. So if there was any potential gank, that will be mitigated. But
Hey,
Chuck hit the top turret. I assume what happened was because the
does
wave was
Chuck
pushed
win
so
his
far.
lane?
No. Blood is 2-0-3. I would not call that a 1 lane. But
Hey! Yeah, how many times does the Shen have to leave? 4.
yeah, so I guess that is a really good thing, right? Chuck has been farming well. He is ahead in farm, and he has gotten, I assume, has gotten a lot of plagues for that fact of pushing in the wave, and that has allowed him to get that that turret down. So even though they are behind, they are making good plays around the map, and they do have a lot of control. But actually, the flash from TJ without the Veigar might just be to his death as he just gets CC chain. Now there's a TP in there from Chuck. We're just running away as Swordmaster is there to try to stop him. Form Bully is here, but Chuck actually just gets a great route there onto him, silences him. Swordmaster though is running away for some reason. Oh, that's because there's a Shen ult there coming in. You do see the great Veigar cage. With the follow-up CC there from Reform Bully, Chuck has to be very, very careful. Will flash out and just get the kill. AI Box now comes in. He doesn't get the kill onto the Kai'Sa. This is a huge team fight for Team Control Ward. Swordmaster now takes down Bird.
Good luck running for the Vayne.
Flashed away there from the Seraphine now as they're trying to take down Blood. Does not land the Q there onto the Zac. But that was a huge team fight. This is a huge comeback here for Team Control Wards. They're now moving to the top side. I assume they're going to take down this Rift Herald and try to transition that into more leads, probably in either the
Looks
bot
like they're
or the mid
also
lane.
like trying to set up Dragon Vision as well.
Yeah, the Dragon is, I think it's spawning shortly.
They're getting too greedy here. They need to back out. Chuck doesn't. Wait, Chuck, you do realize? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, they do not have the HP, but
Swordmaster has never seen I swear, Swordmaster has never seen a jump that he wasn't willing to go in on.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure why they thought they could take the Rift Herald with 0 HP on both of their players, but they will trade 2 of their lives for no reason. So that was a good flash away from Lemonilla, protects himself. But yeah, that was a really, really good team fight from Team Control Wards. They cut out so many members, but they just somehow just kind of throw away the lead again around the Baron pit.
Yeah, and now they're gonna lose the 3rd dragon as a result. See the decision making, man. The decision making.
It's so good, and then it's just
Until
so
it's
bad
not.
right yeah, until it's not.
No, so Control Wards has one good sense of decision making. They generally have a very good sense at spotting engage opportunities and taking advantage of them.
Yeah,
Their problem is that they don't seem to have a back switch where they pull backwards and like just consolidate their victories. That was an enormously unforced error, and they very well may lose off of stuff like that because that puts Bird is the word at sole point.
To be fair, though, they are closing the gold lead. It is just under 1k, just around 1k at least. So they are doing something, I guess, good. Obviously, getting those shutdowns is what you need to do when you're behind. Right? Shutdowns get you back into the game. And this Vayne is getting a lot stronger. And plus, this Victor is also getting a lot stronger. They will do a lot of damage.
The Victor got a huge shutdown on the Kindred. That was critical. And
Yeah.
that was a case of Kindred just hard overstepping, because she probably thought she had her ult, she was safe. It certainly didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, and I think what you were saying about Team Control Wards was very, very true. I think they can recognize the overextension of their opponents very, very well and can capitalize on it. The problem is they don't really respect the state of the game afterwards. If they're low HP, if they have a good opportunity to maybe push that advantage they just made, and sometimes they just make mistakes just as individuals. So there is a lot of good there, and there is unfortunately a lot of bad. So they are doing good things. They're trying to take down this mid tower, which would be very, very helpful in opening up the map. The Vayne has to be careful though, since that is their shining light. They have to make sure that Vayne stays alive, since that Vayne can output a lot of damage in this late game. And with the cleanse, that will help a lot for all of the CC there from Verd and from Reform Bully.
So an interesting thing to keep in mind for this this late game. One of the weaknesses of Viger is that you start to think, because you have the cage, that when you drop the cage at a good position, you're invincible. Like you're safe. Let me tell you, if somebody runs at you with cleanse, you feel like you're safe until you're not.
There's a good game here from...
And then all of a sudden, what looked like a really, really slick fight where you had this great opportunity, suddenly ain't a good fight anymore. Oh, they're running for Baron. Guys, this is not the comp where you get to do this.
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough... Well, actually, it's relatively
I mean, they do have the Kindred,
now TJ here too, so it's going to be a lot of damage. But we can see that
Victor?
Yeah, they do know that they're there, so they will have to be careful, since Victor can do a lot of damage. He will most likely start on the ult here shortly. I'm just trying to look for the steal and almost gets it. It was 100 HP, very, very close. Unfortunately, his team was not there to respond, since they were there getting blood in the bot lane. So this is 2 times in a row where they have gotten blood in the bot lane alone, and Team Versword has transitioned over to the Baron and gotten it. So that was very, very good macro play, right? The good part is, though, Chuck did get the shutdown. He did get the R feast, so he will be scaling up through that way, but unfortunately they did not respect the potential Baron, and so there's
I'll be honest, I didn't think that they would be able to Baron off that. Like, I didn't expect the damage, but Kindred and Kaisa combined, I guess the early and with double Kraken Slayers,
yeah,
that'll chunk.
Yeah, definitely. So there is really, really good macro play here from Versus the Word. They are very, very proficient at that. So the question is, they need to just obviously keep pushing this lead and make sure they don't have any overextensions like before, right? Since that's, I think, the only way they can lose is if they overstep. Because as long as they play these fights slow and play them with blood going for a good engage and you can catch out, they will have enough damage from WS and TJ.
So that's actually the area where I have a slight disagreement. Other than the Seraphine, there's not a lot of obvious engage tools for this comp. Other than the Seraphine going in with an ultimate, flank, I guess, from Kindred, or a like a Devious going in and he's got the Shen ult on him. But him going in with Shen ult on him is that's not the play.
Right. I think definitely what they want to look for is some kind of maybe Shen engage, followed up by the ult from the Seraphine.
I don't think Shen engage is actually a thing, though. Is my point.
Maybe not. I guess we'll find out in this team fight. As you see, Sportmaster going in does not actually catch up TG. He's a great flash away with Verd, but that would be an ultimate there, as there is just so much damage coming out. Reform Boy takes down Chuck. That is the passive now for Swordmaster. AI Box is trying to do all that he can, but unfortunately, he can do nothing as TJ takes him down. These odds will come out to nothing as Verd will finish off Swordmaster, and now this will be the Soul going over to Team Versus the Word.
Yep. Viger Cage did a lot of work there, completely mitigated any attempt to back up the team. It's that Kindred's spooky. That Kindred is very, very large and can shred through those tanks. And now that that has Infernal Soul, it's gonna be a tough one. Yeah,
this Veigar is going to do a lot of damage. Control has to be careful because he will most likely get run down to his turret, and they might actually just go for the dive. So really good cage though actually does stun both of them, so he will be able to get himself out. Does have the quick feat of the phase rush. So phase rush himself out of there, and the Steve is also here. Verd is actually off on his own as Chuck. Look at actually almost gets a knock up here as Control is now trying to zone away TJ, but AI Box actually gets a lot of chunk damage from the Veigar ult, but he will be able to shut down Verd. So it's a good pick off, and they will be able to chase out Where's the Word, but
that also
like,
removes a pretty major tool of theirs for keeping these fights safe. They need that peel from the Viger cage.
yeah, and going back to that last team fight, they had a really, really good start, right? Swordmaster within blew 2 flashes. The problem is, I think they need the CC to win those fights. They can't just win them if they don't have anything like that, since there's so much potential re-engage there through the Seraphine ult, through Shen going in, as well as just so much damage from TJ and from Devious. So they have to make sure if they do go for a fight, it has to be followed up CC.
Yep, and I think that Chuck can't. I think it's Chuck is going forward and trying to support Zach, and I understand why he's doing that. He really needs to, in my opinion, stay back a little bit and provide a bit more of a meat shield for the Vayne, the Victor, all that sort of stuff. The Zach is going to dive deep. That part's fine. He's going to jump in, start the fight, engage, knock somebody up, etc. I think that it is. They need somebody though to stay back and make sure that Vayne and Control aren't getting threatened.
Yeah, and it's going to become a lot more difficult as these teams start to scale up, especially with this Infernal Soul, since Lemonella almost gets blown up here, but unfortunately Swordmaster might just go into his death, as there is a great just chain CC there. 2J Beast will be taking down Swordmaster, as now there's a flash I think there from Blood, tries to take down Chuck, and he is getting chunked down pretty hard, but barely lives 1 HP.
Gosh.
Vayne also with a great key away from the Vagar shield, or Vagar cage.
Quick note, that Victor still has his ult.
Yeah, Victor does have ult, but unfortunately there is just not really much to follow up with, since Sword kind of went in alone. There wasn't really much of his team around him to follow up, so
yeah, I think that he saw the Kindred overstep, thought maybe he could get a pick, and yeah, there was no pick to be had.
Yeah, and he will give his life for that pick, and this only means that TJ gets so much stronger. 7-1-4, very, very powerful Kindred.
Producer, can we take a look at those Kindred stacks?
How many marks does the Kindred have? Kindred has 5 marks, so not too bad.
Okay, so nothing too crazy, but
yeah, 5 marks is definitely fine, right? She has 7 kills, so I don't think the Kindred is, doing too poorly in that regard. But
she could potentially mess this guy up. Zach.
Yeah.
Is,
also, Kindred again, 3 levels on the Swordmaster, level 15.
You're kind of off by yourself.
Shogath is off to himself, but can push back the form bullets since he is relatively tanky, and the Seraphine is not. But they will take down this top turret, and they will just reset as they're a pretty large way pushing into that tier 2. But we do have 2 mechs there onto the Elder Dragon. We have 6k gold lead in favor of Team Where's the Word. Chuck will be taking down a little bit of check on him. About like a 5th or 6th of his health. Not terrible, but he can get that back up later.
Okay, they're positioning around Baron.
Maybe trying to look for a pick in a bush, right? There's 3 step in the bush. Chuck might be just looking for a bait so Swordmaster can dive in. Core members are here though. They do not have the Victor. They need the Victor for all the damage that he does.
Yep.
So
And they lost.
very, very careful.
They lost the surprise vision when they when the wave pushed up.
Yeah, definitely. But right now we will have just them playing careful. Swordmaster is
Oh,
on
good,
ward, so.
smart ward. I'm assuming that was right by Bully. Well placed.
Yep, they will know that he is here, so they will be very, very careful for pushing that mid wave once it crashes back. But the chickens will spawn, so they will just be happy to take that back. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a game finally decided onto the Elder Dragon fight, right? If Control Wards can get the Elder, they can definitely bring themselves back to the game, and they can start to scale up. But actually, might not be able to, as TJ just blows up. Ooh, almost blows up Lemonella too. It was a great dodge to try to get Lemonella blown up, but we'll just blow up AI Box, and that means this is probably a free Baron. Swordmaster could try to look for the steal, but he is down 4 levels, so that is going to be a difficult smite.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, they have to try,
I don't even think is going to end up getting in range.
He is going in, so it's not an engage. I mean, it's not bad. Actually, he does get the steal!
Holy shit!
He does get the steal! That was
What
really,
a beast!
really good. Followed up by the Victor Q. That was really, really perfect. Now,
The king of thieves! Oh
Yeah.
my gosh!
Jumps into the pit, totally blind, just assumes that's low. But the problem is, he dies,
Elder.
and now it is Elder. So it is a
Hey,
valiant
Chuck,
steal.
here's your chance. Wait,
Wait.
Chuck, what are you doing?
Wait,
No!
Chuck actually could do so much here with his ultimate. Unfortunately, he might just well, actually, he does have a good blast count. Does not have
He's gonna
blast,
die.
but
You can't.
yeah,
There's no
unfortunately-
escaping from Kindred.
yeah. If Chuck didn't walk up there, there was maybe a chance he could look for a steal. Maybe if he walked all the way around to the blast cone, but yeah, this is gonna be really tough when they get the
What a hero play by Zach! Immediately, like, invalidated.
Yeah,
Well,
unfortunately.
not completely invalidated. They still got 3 members with Baron, but
Yeah, I guess the good thing is they have the Baron minions, so they can maybe stop the Elder push to maybe where it can wear out to maybe give them a few more minutes. But
that's
it's
what they're clinging to here. And I want to be clear: they have the tools to win this still. It's not like CWS can't win it, but their job just got infinitely harder.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very, very tough. Because all they have to do now is just not fight, because they will immediately lose that with the Elder buff. So all they have to do is wait for 2 minutes, let the Baron buff run out, let them be able to push this wave as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, it's
Wait,
really,
who
really
actually
tough.
still has the who actually still has the Baron buff? Because Vayne doesn't.
So I believe Lemonilla and Control have it.
Okay.
Swordmaster and Chuck and AI Box were dead in the fights, but actually another pause comes through. I'm not sure if this is another reformed bullet issue or maybe something totally different.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this. Producer, can you click on one of our lovely VTW folks? I want to see how much
I
they
don't
have
believe you can
in
actually
terms
move
of.
the screen when you are in a
Oh
pause. You can only,
no!
change the
Okay.
spectator.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. Can we? Oh, it doesn't show you how long is it. Wait, does it show you? Yeah. Okay, so they're about like a third of the way through the timer. That's plenty of time for them to shove down mid. Taking a look at this though, spectator, can we see the gold really quick? The breakdown of the gold. I don't even want to see this jungle gap. My goodness, 7,000 gold. Almost. If it was Chuck who was being doubled last time, it's Zach who's being doubled this time. Kindred is rolling all over him.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. But I guess for the good part though is Control and AI Box are ahead in gold, right? And there's not too much of a gold gap in the support lane, right? We do have the bounty onto the Victor. Victor has been farming very, very well. Up 100 farm onto the Veigar, has about 2k gold in the lead. And they have the tools, like you said. If the Vayne and the Victor go off, they can win these fights. It is just going to be exceptionally difficult. The question is,
there is no margin for error.
They need to stop, and they need to stop the Baron push. Not the Baron, I apologize. The Elder push. As long as the Elder doesn't get pushed in, they're fine. And so this is the last ditch effort, right? This could be
season on the line.
Yes, season on the line. One fight decides if you live or die, and what a better way to go out by that. So, the question is, can AI Box and Control prove their carry potential, or will TJ and Blood show their top lane dominance? This is the question that's going to be answered. But Control does a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage for 1Q, and if they do land the cage, not the cage.
Whoa, wait! What is the range? What is the range of that Seraphine passive?
Yeah, Seraphine can get pretty far, especially when she, whenever she either hits a lot of enemies or a lot of allies, that range gets really, really buffed. So Swordmaster is going to be taking a lot of poke here with Chuck. So this
I need to
very,
figure
very
out how.
difficult.
I'm not good at Seraphine. It's not one of the champions that I've practiced a whole lot on. I don't know how the heck she's firing that passive that far, but that is terrifying.
Yeah, late game Seraphine is going to do a lot, especially with the heals and with the infernal buff, since they need to make sure that they need to blow up these members. But there will be a cage that lands on Chuck. He will actually need to just reset.
Oh my god!
Wait, there's a flash there onto Control flash. Control will flash out, so it will be fine. But the Seraphine all comes over the top. Actually, Bloodbath almost dies with the ult there from Chuck, but AI Fox is trying to do as much as he can.
Oh
actually,
no!
TJ just blows him up with the infernal buff, and now Control and Manila are left alone.
This looks like the season might be ending They tried their hardest. They put on their best performance, but that's the frozen client bug. That's the end of the game, and that is the end of Control Wars series. Congratulations to Vert is the word. I think that. Oh, this is interesting, but we'll wait until to post game or see if the client is even going to allow that. But this is actually an interesting development. First off, let's take a moment to talk about that performance from Vert is the word. They were absolutely able to choke out Control Wars. TJ was a monster. 12 of his team's 19 kills. Absolutely dominant performance.
Yeah, TJ popped off, and obviously, just they played the macro game so much better game 2 and 3, right? They fell a little bit flat to that game 1.
That's Kindred damage.
Yeah, Kindred did a lot of damage, especially with that Infernal Soul buff. But
also, can we talk about the fact that the Shen did as much damage as the Vayne? Actually, more damage than the Vayne?
just barely, yeah.
That's not something you generally see. Pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
but
Pretty impressive.
when your top side's losing that hard, it's very, very hard for you to do much. So, credit to
but
to
that's
AI
the thing.
Box
Like,
trying.
yeah, it's like I don't like Chuck wasn't necessarily down a whole bunch of gold and on Shen, so that wasn't really a case of top lane being ridiculously out of sync. But yeah, no, to me this was 100% the TJ show. That was a dominating performance.
Yeah, it was really, really good from them, and it's really just a testament to the strength of that top side, right? Blood and TJ are a really, really dominant force. That 2v2 is so incredibly powerful. We saw what happened early game, and we saw they transitioned that to the late game. They made sure that they game 2 fed their bot lane, right? They heavy targeted bot lane, shut them down game 2, and there's really not much they could have done. Game 3, shut down top side, transition that to the mid game and late game. And AI Box, they tried so hard. Lemonade and AI Box, a really, really strong bot lane duo, and control the mid
wasn't
lane
to be.
so good. Yeah, but unfortunately, Team
So-
Versus is a very strong team.
Yes, they are. And speaking of Vert is the word, let's bring in an MVP. I personally think that it can only be TJ. Absolutely dominant performances, both game 2 and game 3. He frankly took Swordmaster out of the fight. I've been very high on Swordmaster all season, and he largely made him a non-entity game 2 and it crushed him game 3. So I'd say we bring TJ in. Do you have anyone else in mind?
Yeah, definitely. I think TJ was a huge force in their wins, right? The Sejuani game 2 and the Kindred game 3 were huge reasons, and I believe we have.
He just
TJ
joined us. The man, the myth, the
right
legend.
now.
TJ, welcome to the show, or shall I say, you were the show. Fantastic performances.
Yeah, I had to. We picked Scion game 1. All right, I had to troll a little bit for my boy A-Barn. Leave him on the ropes a little bit. Let him think he had a shot of getting a tiebreaker. But then I realized I'm driving to Florida in like 10 minutes.
Gotta wrap this shit up.
I kind of needed to end the series.
And honestly, you ended a lot of things that game, since game 2 and game 3, you absolutely just dominated the jungle. It was jungle diff out the wazoo. Your Sejuani and your Kindred is absolutely smurfed on all the other teams. So tell me kind of what your team did to transition from game 1 to game 2 on what you wanted to do with your game plan.
We didn't troll pick in the jungle.
Fair enough.
We picked the battle board and we just took it to a Swordmaster.
Yes, you did. And that was that the game plan to target Sword specifically, or was that just how it worked out with pick and ban?
No, he just kept walking into me.
Fair enough. We noticed that you guys were focusing Chuck a lot. Was that similarly like an intentional play, or is that something that again just happened because of maybe I'll say poorly thought out positioning? Was it a game plan to try to focus him and knock him out?
No, we wanted to let Sir Aaron just bash on his brother all day. So we decided to just camp him into the dirt.
You know what, TJ? Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Because I think we definitely saw that.
Yeah, and TJ, I actually have one more question for you. Unless I'm mistaken, if Team Coinflip is able to beat Life for Appa later this week, you're actually tied with Life for Appa at that point for first place. it would go to a tiebreaker. What? No, with this win, they're each at 4-2. Or sorry, Vert is the word is at 4-2. Life Rop is 4-1. So if they lose to coin flip, I believe it goes to a tiebreaker between Vert is the word and Life Rapa for first place. So
Yes,
do you? What's your plan there? Like if you are able to get into that tiebreaker, how do you reverse the rather crippling 2-0 loss you had against them last time? How do you shake up your game plan?
Well, we're just not gonna pick losing jungle matchups. Last series we picked 2 losing jungle matchups, and I was just not able to play the game.
Mhm.
And I really don't have faith in Abarn to beat them, though.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
then maybe
Abarn has-
maybe we won't have that problem. But maybe Abarn also gives you a Christmas present. How's that?
Yeah, well, Abarn also has to play against the second best mid laner in TCL, next to only Verd.
Yeah, that will be a tough matchup. I think that Abarn might be able to pull it out if he like benches really hard and before that match.
Yeah,
But
I mean, did you see the picture of Verd and Pigto?
yeah, 7 feet tall, like all 100% muscle, 0% fat. The guy's built differently.
They're just built different.
All right, thank you for joining us, TJ. Congratulations to Vert is the word. Looking forward to hopefully seeing a tiebreaker with you guys and seeing you maybe take the top spot. Congratulations.
Too. I'd love to play them again.
Yep.
All right.
And before we sign off, want to give another tribute just to Control Wards. Season didn't work out perfectly, but I'll be honest, they put on a very spirited performance, and all of them are fantastic players. I have to call out Lemon, just like family bias, but he has evolved so much over the past season. I hardly would have recognized him at the beginning. He's been an absolute menace, and I couldn't be prouder.
Yeah, and they were a really strong team, right? Control had a really just great matches in the million. AI Box and Lemon played really well. Swordmaster really enabled his team, so they had some really great looks, really great matches, but unfortunately they just couldn't pull it out in the end. So
Hey, there can only be one winner.
Yeah,
There can only be one winner in each game.
So congratulations to them for all their efforts and for all the good looks, but they will unfortunately not make playoffs. That will be decided by the rest of the teams. So with that, we will call it a day here. Vert is the word will confirm themselves in the playoffs 100%, and we will see you for the remaining games of the TCL coming up for the rest of the week. So again, I am Sir Aaron, joined by my good friend Spirit of Fate, and we will catch you in the next one.